All right. Hey, I'm Jim, the GM, and we are here for our third session of D&D Eberron with Matt, Mike, and Caleb, and some great characters that they just do such a great job playing, and they are stuck in a bit of a situation. So we're going to go ahead and let them describe their characters and give a little bit of insight of what's going through their heads before we continue on through the crypt of Rena not Decaneth, oh no.
Dennis.
Denith.
I did not forget. It's Dennis.
All right. On that,
Dennis.
Matt, go ahead and tell us about Quinn.
Yeah, so Quinn is a halfling barbarian. He has dark skin, tattooed, and with sort of ceremonial paint also sort of all over his skin. He has a very long top knot that stretches all the way down to his feet, but he is only a halfling, so it is only 3 feet long. He has a pair of hand axes, and he has a necklace of beads that he sometimes rubs absently. Currently, Corsair Quinn is he's doing okay. He's been a part of this battle against this slime ooze thing in this crypt, and he has just borrowed of his own life force to heal his companion. And while he feels wounded, he's not. He's seen worse. But he understands that his companions are possibly not in quite as good of a state, and that's why he has taken this little rest period that we've had, very short rest, basically standing in the doorway, guarding from anything else that might wander into this chamber where his friends are recuperating after quite a substantially hurtful battle.
All right, very nice,
Mike.
Quinn.
I'm Mike, and I am playing Denander Kenneth, a fair-haired wizard who has had better days. Just kind of coming back from the edge of death. Here, he's pretty ready to get out of this hole, but knows that the best way out might be further in, because he definitely noticed the stairway closing up behind us. And so I think Ben's really grateful, maybe to this party for the first time. He's glad that he's not alone. And like I said, he's interested to see what else is in here, but most interested in finding the exit. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I am Caleb, and I am playing Flu. Flu is kind of seated on the floor back to this stone wall of this room, and he's got this light auburn orangish hair kind of spiked back away from his face. He's you can see him kind of twitching his nose a little bit as he starts to, and he's still breathing heavy. In his hand, kind of held in front of his face, as he's looking at this very old jar that still had a little bit of the remnants of the potion in it that he had just poured down Den's face, or I guess mouth. But his hand, kind of in exhaustion, drops to his side, and the jar, he kind of sets it down, putting it at rest, and he scoops up a couple pieces of this shattered wastebasket that this thing that truly is invaluable. It is one of the most amazing pieces of historic artwork and legacy that he's ever seen, and he used it or he smashed it over the head of this ooze, and now it's laying in just a bunch of pieces just around him, and he's just kind of panting.
And so, since Quinn said it, you guys will make it canon. You were able to get an hour's rest. So a short rest, but during this entire rest, Quinn, you totally are hearing the wonderful sounds of. It almost sounds like a sloppy shuffle as you just continue to stand there in that doorway and take watch. But the distance between, or the time between that sloppy shuffling is great. You might hear it for a couple seconds continued, and then moments pass of silence. Nothing down here except for the sound of the breathing of everybody behind you and your heartbeat in your ears. But from where you are standing, you can see that across from you, and just a little bit to the left, the hallway is only about 5 feet wide, and across from you, just a little bit to the left, about maybe another 4 or 5 feet, there is a stone door. This door is different than the door into the room that you are resting in the fact that the door to this room that you're in is wooden, and noticeably y'all found that there are no hinges left where the door could have been connected, but this other door seems to be this other door seems to be that it could open inward, because the stone doors seem to be completely intact and ornate. Before I go too much further, though, Den, I do remember that you cast light on your marionette.
Yep.
Is that still with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, Quinn, from where you stand, you can see with the dim light that is going down that hall further to your left, you can see some markings on the floor, but you're going to need a an investigation roll disadvantage to be able to figure out what those are during your rest, or you could wait until the rest is finished.
I think
people together. So
yeah, I think that he would hear this shuffle sort of every sort of 10, 12 minutes, whatever, however long. And after like maybe the third one, after about half an hour, he would investigate these. So disadvantage on that. Okay, I got 15. Believe it or not. Apparently, Quinn is quite alert at the moment.
great. So you're investigating the sounds, or you're investigating
the markings. The sounds happen, and I'm like, okay, I don't see anything. There's no shadows moving. So I'm like, you know what? There's something on the floor. I'll have a look at it.
Okay. These markings on the floor, to you, it looks like it could have been like scorch marks.
Cool.
And then even from there, if you look to your right down the hall, that's the direction you came from. It goes about 10 feet down the hall before it makes a left turn.
So they kind of like in a pattern sort of line, or is it just like scattered across the whole surface of the floor?
Okay, with that 15, it looks to just be in front of that, in that doorway. With that 15 that you got, it looks like it's just in front of that stone door.
Okay. So, Quinn would take that in, and he would just continue to guard that doorway. And at the end of the rest, at the end of the hour, just as his friends are starting to pick themselves back up and breathe again, Quinn would see them hopping up, and he would say, "Oh well, it looks like you might have a bit of a problem with this door over here. She looks like she might have a trap or something else, because there's scorch marks in front. And what I reckon that might mean is someone's maybe tried to open it and fire has come out. I can't be sure of that because I only see the scorch marks and I don't see any bodies. But it could be that there might be a trap to it."
Well, maybe somebody tried to open it with fire. What is on the door? Can I get over to the door pretty easily with my light and take a look at it, investigate the door?
Absolutely.
You said it was ornate, right? So
sure. Just so we can make sure that everybody's got what they've got, or maybe they don't. Are you waiting to do this until after your short rest is finished, or are you doing this during your short rest?
I was thinking after. I
Okay.
believe that I resolved a short rest off camera after our session.
Okay.
Last time. So.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. So then, as you go down, make that left turn out of this room to that main door, you can see the scorch marks with the bright light. The scorch marks are obvious. They are absolutely right in front of this ornate stone door on your right side now. But you can also see about another 7 feet down the hall on the left wall, there is another opening. It looks like at one point could have been a doorway as well.
I'm sorry. So can I check out when you say the doors are ornate, is it just like decorated beautifully, or is it something that might be worth looking into what it is?
Oh, it is. It is absolutely decorated beautifully. Done more in carvings rather than jewels or I guess physical decoration, something inlaid or inset. But on this door is carved into the stone the crest of the Deneth.
The chimera or whatever it is, the three-headed.
Yes, the chimera on the shield with the gloved fist holding the double-ended dagger coming from the top.
Guys, who has the stone, the picture stone? I don't really remember what it was called.
I thought you did.
Wasn't.
I thought you had it. Hey, you need to check your pockets.
Yeah, Den shuffles around. He's like, oh, I guess I do. Okay. Do you guys think that should we just get the picture thing out of the way now? Get in there, Flu. I wanna make sure that there's proof you're here. And do we think it's a good idea here to? Out of character, should we be using this stone thing on a door that has the emblem on it?
So this is Flu's thought process here. If we take the picture now, it's going to go one of three ways. We're going to die, and we're not going to be able to get it back to him anyway. We're going to get out of here and maybe not find the thing that we were sent to do. Well, actually, the only thing we were sent here to do was prove it was here.
Yeah, we just need proof that it's what it is.
So this picture could be great. And we get out of here, and everybody's happily ever after. Or 3, we go in further, we find the rod, and we get that to come back. So this picture seems, that's why Flu is cheesing. He's take the picture. Cheese.
All right, Jim, I got to ask you a really important question because Den's kind of Joker or Trickster, is there anything directly behind me that might also be proof? So I can pretend I'm taking a picture of Flu, but actually take a picture of myself, like with the statue behind me.
Let me handle this one, Jim. No.
I love it because I do that to my kids all the time. They're like, Lord, take a picture of us. And I'm like, sure, say cheese. And I'm just smiling, taking pictures of myself the whole time.
Big
They
grin.
hand them the phone and not even take a picture of them. Yeah, he's right. The walls, for the most part, are not decorated. In fact, after the 2,600 years that Flu has mentioned, it would have been most of what you can find or that you've even seen that's been related to anything art worthy, other than something like lasting like the vase that he had. It's down to carvings.
Yeah, Den's
rather than
not that committed to making a joke, so he's gonna go ahead and take a picture of Flu as he's posing, cheesing in front of the door. But right. I think Den does pretend like he took the picture and then wait for Flu to kind of start walking away before he actually takes it.
Cool. So, Flu, with you in front of that door and all the light, you also can see, since your back is to the door, further down the hallway to your right, the direction you've not been yet, Flu, just about 7 feet to your right, there is a doorway that has no door in it, and that looks reminds you of the door to the room that you just went into. And Quinn, as you get out in the hallway, you can see that as well now too, since you have the higher perceptions.
So I have dark vision. Is that helping me in any way?
Your dark vision? Actually, no, because this hallway from where you are, standing right in front of the door, it only goes 15 feet to your left, back in the direction you came, and about 16 feet to your right in the direction you're going. So everything down these hallways right now is completely lit up. You have not gone into the room, or you where you currently are. You don't necessarily have an angle to see better into this new room. You know you'll have to get closer to the room to see into it better.
Does anyone fancy themselves the silent type? Because the last time we barged into a room, I woke up with Flu pouring something down my throat, and I would rather avoid that.
Well, surprisingly, Quinn, though not trained in sneaking, is very light on his very light halfling feet.
Well, Quinn, I do hate to ask, but you handle yourself well in a fight anyways. Would you mind, you saw this trap, just maybe check around the door that's already open?
No worries. No worries.
I think Flu kind of pops his head out from behind Den, and he's like, yeah, like that one right over there. And he like squats back down and hides behind Den. Someone protect him.
So before we go any further, I want to make sure that everything that I am assuming is either correct or that I am corrected. So we all took the short rest. Did anybody have to take advantage of spending hit die to get hit points?
Yes.
Okay.
I spent one of my two.
Quinn did not spend, but he's exhausted one because he healed a party member during the last fight. So he's down one, but not down two. Because Quinn spent the entire time guarding, not resting.
And I was healed by that potion, but not. So I didn't use a hit die, although I maybe should have.
We haven't done anything yet. You can say that you haven't spent the hit die. I don't have a problem with that. And also, Flu, you got spell slots back, right? You've already accounted for that. And Den, you took care. You have that ability already at level 2 to regain half whatever your hit.
I think I regained half my wizard level, which was just just one, right? So yeah, because I believe I used 2 spell slots in combat, and I currently have 2 marked available. So
Okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that
okay.
that I'm on the same page as you guys before we just continue going through the rooms. Because honestly, where you are with the hallways, you're pretty safe. But as you start going into the room, there's a chance that you'll run into something, or something will run into you.
Great.
Cool. So we're looking into that next room, right, Quinn?
Yeah, you're right.
All right. So looking into this next room,
I just see Quinn stepping through and saying, "G'day, mates."
This
It's
is
like,
what
yeah, I can be sneaky. Hey, anybody in there?
No, I mean Quinn stays relatively quiet. Do you need me to make a stealth check while we're here?
sure, go ahead.
Oh, he's super stealthy. With a 6.
Yes. That's what we hope for.
Yeah, he's like talking to his spirits. Yeah, there's probably nothing in this next room, right? Yep, okay, she's good.
Nice. So, looking into this room, there are. It looks to have been wiped clean. There is a broken chest in the corner. It looks like just nothing but a bunch of pieces of wood that have been laid out, barely holding in part of its shape. Much of it looks to have been just totally eaten up. At least the metal looks to have been eaten up. You also see, however, in the floor looks to be completely just soaked and puddling with condensation in this point. And in fact, it feels more damp just the closer you get into this room, and just thick and humid. Oddly enough, though, off to the side of the room, the left side of this room, in the puddle, in this water, and this liquid is it looks like a blade. Blade's not too big. It looks to be about the size of just a small dagger. However, that blade, there is something odd about it that you can't quite put your finger on.
All right. I would just, poke my head out of the door and just go, yeah, well, it's a room and there's puddles. It looks like it's quite warm in there too. It's a big puddle, and it looks like something like a blade, maybe a dagger. But it looks pretty odd to me. I'm thinking I might go and have a closer look, see what I can see. But there's nothing bad in here as far as I can tell. Although there was that oily liquid in the previous room, and as I look back into this room, you say that there's condensation and there's a little bit of puddling in here. Do any of those puddles look sort of oily or similar consistency or gleam to perhaps what the previous that creature was? Anything similar to that?
Of puddles for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I just in this way.
Sure, go ahead. I like that idea. So go ahead and make that roll with advantage.
What sort of roll is it? Sorry.
Let's see. You're trying to discern what you're seeing. Let's make it an investigation roll as well.
8, because I'm terrible at investigation.
All right. So looking at with that investigation, you're quite certain that this is absolutely another inky puddle.
Right. Yeah. So I say, well, I reckon that puddle might be another one of those creatures. It's quite possible. So I'd be keeping your distance if you come in here. And that dagger or blade is right in the middle of one of those puddles. Yeah.
Not necessarily in the middle. The whole floor looks to to be just have standing water just throughout most of it. The low point in the room seems to be over there where the dagger is, so that's where the deepest point would be, only by like a few inches. But the rest of the room seems to just be that wet, slimy color.
So I think Quinn would have the presence of mind to look up at the roof.
No, looking up the roof looks to just be a little damp. For the humidity that it seems to be in this room, the room does seem to be, just the ceiling and the walls seem to be a little damp. But you, with your passive perception, you are able to recognize that it is not as damp as the floor where the water seems to be pooling.
Jim, can I confirm real quick? We said that the person of this tomb famously had a rod, right? Mm-hmm. So this dagger, yes. we weren't expecting necessarily to find anything like that.
You can absolutely assume that from your perspective. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think Quinn's not necessarily scared. He's cautious. So I think what would happen here, he would put away one of his axes and equip his shield, and then make his way into the room, thinking, if something does rise up from this puddle to strike at him, then so be it. But he's interested in this dagger, I think.
Okay. And so as you get closer to the dagger, get closer. Yes?
Sorry, I was just going to say...
Okay, so Quinn starts walking into the room further. What's Den and Flu doing?
So Flu...
Go ahead, Den.
I was just going to say, I would like to, because I didn't previously, and we are a small party, I want to go ahead and take advantage of Spellsmith as, like, before maybe he sent him in there, if we can retcon that, if I could give him +1 armor.
Sure,
Spellsmith
you can even say that while he's walking in.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, I'm like whispering a little, like, okay, please don't die in there.
Okay.
And that'll give you +1 to your AC.
Okay, I'll throw a curveball your way. I'm only wearing clothing.
It magically gives you +1 to AC.
Okay. Sure.
As long as you're not wearing as long as you are wearing non-magical armor, I can do that.
But I'm not wearing armor. I'm wearing clothing. It's up to Jim, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I'm totally down with it.
Cool.
Yeah, and in fact, because it's a little bit odd, because I think just the way that it's intended to go is that it makes something that was made to be protective just more protective. How does that end up looking? How does that end up working with his non-armored physique? Den?
I think just as he starts to walk away from Den, you see the glowing on his dragon mark in his sleeve, and he almost reaches out like he's gonna like put his hand on Quinn's shoulder, and you just see like almost like wind blowing onto his clothes, and maybe it's not like continued. It doesn't continue to be visible, but it's almost like almost like he's just like blessing him with like this luck, like maybe an arrow will shoot into his sleeve and get caught in the sleeve instead of going into his arm. Like, not that his clothes have come alive or anything necessarily, but maybe similar to how he uses the marionette and stuff. He's just kind of
okay,
especially since it's not armor.
The clothes gain a little bit of life to him.
Yeah, kind of like
help block things away.
The cape of
his ponytail.
His ponytail has just come alive. Yeah, no, I'm thinking kind of like a much less impressive version of the cape from what's his name, Mr. Doctor Strange.
Yeah. We all went there.
Yeah.
Cool. So you tap that, and that happens. And Flu.
Yeah, I think Flu would kind of slowly come out from behind Din and go and poke his head sort of in the door as kind of taking the spot that Quinn was just in.
Okay. Okay.
Do I see the dagger?
You do see the dagger.
How old is it? Do I know?
Looking at it, you immediately recognize that it is not 100 years old.
Okay. It's made of metal, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. And as you go closer, then, Quinn, you go closer, you are passed immediately by Dan, who's run into the puddle to grab. No. It's like, no. As you move closer, you move up to the puddle, being very carefully moving deeper into these inches of water, which for you is coming up over your feet. And as you're reaching down to grab it, everybody roll initiative as the puddles do come to life. Oh, this is going to be a good night for you guys.
You said puddles, right? Is it multiple puddles?
Yep. As in multiple puddles. Oh, yes. It's because you're hiding back there, Flu. All right. So immediately a puddle right there where the dagger is. You watch it reach up and swing at you and just miss, triggering this encounter. And Flu is terrible. So first up is Quinn. You are literally standing in this puddle right now, and another one on the other side of the room has come open. So just to give you guys the dimensions of the room, from the doorway to the far wall, it is 25 feet. From the left wall to the right wall, it is 20 feet. So this room is not very large. There is a wooden door laying inside of this room in puddles. Their door is not on hinges. There is the chest that looks to have had its metal bindings melted away or whatever. And yeah, it's 25 feet from door to far wall and 20 feet from left to right. And currently, Quinn, you are along the left wall.
Okay. Very good. Having seen that, his weapon has sort of split these things into two previously, Quinn's in a couple of minds as to what to do, but I think that what he would do is, in this just for now, is he's thinking about his companions who potentially have magic. And so what he would do is he would specifically splash his feet into this water. He would take the dodge action and he would just wait to see what his allies do, thinking that perhaps the splashing and making a noise and being inside of this liquid that the tentacle sort of pods are coming out of, that they would attack him. So He's not going to attack them because he's waiting to see what his allies can do against these things, because he knows that hitting them with the slashing with his axe is probably going to split them. So I'm just going to take the dodge action for now.
Okay, cool. Next up, it's Den. Wait, hold on, real quick, so I know what's going on. Flu, what's the 7 and 15 mean? Oh,
He was talking to me.
Okay, Den, go ahead.
So Den was kind of reluctantly walking into the room as this thing became apparent. And so he kind of like is surprised but also on edge, and so he's going right back into the mode he was previously in. He's going to cast Firebolt immediately upon seeing the puddle move. It's not in it's not right next to anybody yet, right? Correct?
There are 2 puddles. There's one on the left wall and one on the right wall. Well, there's 2 of them that are moving. The floor seems damp over in general. Quinn is standing in one of the puddles as it's reaching up to him.
So
and
he's
then there's
engaged
another
with
one that's
that one.
moving. Engaged is a nice way to put it.
Okay.
And then there's another one on the right side. So from where you're standing in the doorway, on your left about 10 feet away, on your right about 10 feet away, and the one on the left has Quinn right in the middle of it.
Well, I think for now, taking a divide and conquer mentality, Den's going to attack the one on the right, sending Firebolt.
Okay.
13 to hit. Oh, sorry, 15.
Yeah, hits it.
For a D10 damage. Two damage.
2 damage.
Yeah, 2 fire damage.
Okay. This seems different than the last time.
Perfect.
Cool. Flu.
How big is the door?
It's a 5-foot door.
Not the doorway, the actual door.
The door is just inches under 5 feet, so that it doesn't scrape the top, the bottom, or the sides if it would have had its inches.
So Flu's gonna pick it up.
Okay.
And what is that? Is that going to be my action? Can I pair the picking it up, and then I would like to run at this puddle and jump on it like one might do with a boogie board?
Sure.
So can that be like my move and action and everything all mixed up into one thing?
Sure. Your move is running over. You move past him. You pick it up, and then jump up in the air, just completely vertical, it under you, your feet up in the air.
Yeah.
Cheese between your teeth.
Cool. Yeah, but I want to try and land on this thing too. Because he's feeling the exact same way. He had a bad experience in the last room, so he hasn't even drawn his sword. And he doesn't want to break any more vases. So do I need to make an attack roll?
Yes. It'll be at disadvantage, though.
That's fine. What am I adding here?
It's a strength roll. Strength.
I suppose that's fair. So I just add my modifier then? I'm not proficient in doors?
Not yet.
Okay.
If you would like to take a feat for that somewhere along the line, I'm totally down with it. Improvise weapons master. No, I just want doors. I don't need all.
I would like to boogie board on doors, please. So I rolled a 7, and my modifier gives me a 6 total.
So you absolutely leap up in the air. You're feeling really badass, and you land on the ground just past it.
I feel like maybe in his head he leapt and he was like, "Yeah," but really he like tripped on his own feet, and like, crunched
And
right
you
over
tried
him.
to make up for it.
Yeah. It's like we're good. Everything's cool.
Oh
Uh,
shoot.
Yeah, so I guess I'm
Okay.
on the other side of this guy.
Yeah. So we'll say then, for the sake of argument, you are now 15 feet into the room.
Oh, mama.
That also means that the back wall is 10 feet away from you. Cool. So there are two of them, and they are each going to make an attack. One is going to go after Flu. The other is going to go after Quinn. Here we go. And then just roll 2d.
Disadvantage because I'm dodging.
Okay. So then against you, Quinn. Yep. Rolled a 5 on the low dice. So it's going to miss you. And Flu, that's an 18 on that dice. So it reaches up with one of its pseudopods, goes and swings at you, and you take a mighty 3 points of bludgeoning damage, plus... Ooh, terrible roll, Jim. 3 points of acid damage. And are you wearing any armor?
Yes, I am.
What kind?
It is a chain shirt.
All right.
That's fine, right? Everything's going to be fine, right?
Yeah, great. No, it's leather. We already talked about that.
You can see as it reaches at you that pseudopod, it may hurt, but that acid starts eating away at your armor, and your AC now becomes gains a -1 to it. And that is both of their turns.
Okay.
Back up to Quinn.
Real quick, I was writing all my stuff down. The damage that I took was 2 and 3.
3 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
3 and 3.
3 and 3. Yeah, 3 and 3.
Cool.
I rolled really terrible.
Okay. So in this situation, having seen one of these things attack him, he's happy with that. But seeing one of them attack his ally who came in looking so badass, Quinn's sort of like, "Surf's up, dude," and he would begin to rage. He would start to move. Now, if he moves, say, into the middle of the room, would that one get an attack of opportunity against him? Like, is that far enough for it to get an attack of opportunity against him?
Well, with the size of the creature, like I said, it's 20 feet left to right. And so there's 10 feet between the two critters. So if you want to move like 7 feet away, yeah, you're gonna end up taking an attack of opportunity from the one that you're in.
That's okay. So Quinn would make a show of stamping in the one that he's in, right? And
the one that you're in is also in the middle, has the dagger in the middle of it, in the puddle.
Okay, yeah. Do I grab that? Yes. So can I interact with the dagger, perhaps?
You can grab it.
But it'll take an action.
You can grab it. You can grab it with an athletics check, but if the athletics check is not high enough, it will require an action. So if you make the athletics check, you're committing to grabbing the dagger. Succeed.
Yeah, I'll commit to it. Okay. That's the reason I came in here, after all. Okay. So athletics. I got a 16.
That's enough. You reach right into this thing, and as it goes up to swipe you, you literally pull it back out, and you watch it just like you watch it as you just pull this dagger right out from this inky, blacky yuckiness.
Right. Yeah, and then I'm going to move. So this is going to be a stamping movement, but it's still going to be a movement, right? So I'm trying to draw its eye out. I am going to move away from it, drawing an attack of opportunity. So yeah, you can.
Does your dodge last until the end of your turn or the beginning of your turn?
Oh no, dodge is now faded.
All right.
As soon as I start my turn.
Oh, that's a crit.
Okay, crit will hit.
All right, so that's only going to be. Let's see. You're raging though, right? You said so.
I am raging, but it's only going to reduce the physical damage because I'm not turtle or bear.
So it's 10 bludgeoning, and I'll let you reduce it.
Right.
And the acid is. I rolled max. It's going to be 12 acid.
All right. Well, that is enough to down Quinn. So, yeah. He starts moving, and then he stops moving and falls over.
And he's got the dagger. Okay.
And I have the dagger.
Den. Den, make a intelligence roll with proficiency.
Okay. Uh, 15.
Cool. So you can tell that based off of what you were seeing with the previous ooze, the attacking this ooze the way you did is not as effective with that current spell as it was on the previous ooze. In fact, it might be less effective in general.
Yeah, I think Den likes where Quinn's head was at, except for the dying in front of him part. And he's gonna make a dash for the dagger.
Oh no, wizard. Okay.
I mean, I'm a wizard, but I am proficient with the dagger, at least.
Do it, man.
I mean, if nothing else, I want to keep him from just outright killing Quinn in front of me.
Yeah.
So yeah, do I need to roll to pick the dagger up at all or anything?
I was holding it, so.
Oh, that's what I was thinking, but
no, it's just it's just on the ground beside his body now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and swing away here.
You guys have hero points.
And I'm also going to use a hero point for doing that. I forgot that I have 5 still.
I mean, I don't think I can use a hero point to reduce damage.
So. It's a little late for the... Wait, I use a hero point to make him not crit.
It's a good idea for the future.
Remind me how they hero points affect rolls. I can...
You roll a D6 additional.
It's okay. That's on attack, not on damage.
Correct.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And boy, am I glad I did. 12.
That'll hit.
Nice. What am I rolling for damage with this dagger? Is it just a regular dagger?
Yeah, it's just a regular dagger. D4 plus Dex or Strength.
Okay. Boom. That will be 6 damage.
Ooh. That thing looks like it hurt it a lot.
Good. I hate it.
Yeah, it looks like
I hate goo monsters.
I hate it. I hate goo monsters. Flu, you are seeing from the opposite side of falling unconscious. Yeah, so far, like This makes all of you falling unconscious at some point, right? All right.
We need to just find the back stairs in this place real quick.
I guess you're saying it's my turn then, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think Flu's going to have to return the favor here. I am going to try and run over. Actually, I guess bonus action, he'll shift again. Again, his nose sort of elongates, his hair lengthens, and you see that single braid sort of poke out behind his right ear. But I'm going to run over to the halfling and kind of scoop him up under his arms and try and pull him out of the room.
Okay. Yeah, you don't need to make a check on that because he's light.
Okay.
He's not substantially heavy for you to need to make a check.
Okay. So then if I don't have to make a check, do I still have an action when I have him pulled out of the room?
When you run over to him, do remember that you were already in the room. So when you run over to him, you're running around this puddle that you're beside. If you'd like to run out, you're going to draw an attack.
That's fine.
You do also remember he's got that bag on him.
Yeah, I think he also probably at this point we're just using him for inventory.
yeah. I think that I mean the reason that Flu is in a position to be able to choose between the fuzzy bag or the halfling who holds it is because of the halfling who holds it. So I think he has a bit of debt, and I'm going to scoop him up, try and pull him out of the room. I shifted, so I gained some extra movement because I know dragging a body might reduce my movement. But when I get him out there,
you can also you could use your action to disengage so you don't draw attacks. And currently, with where you are in the room, moving out of the room only costs you about 20 feet of movement. So you would have the option, if you wanted to not disengage, to run out there and still have the movement to come back in and start beating the crap out of something, even with him in the hall.
So if I can get out in the hall, I don't think I'm going to. If I don't use the disengage, how many of them are going to get attacks on me?
Only one.
I think I'm going to do that.
It's what is that? It's a 10.
All right.
I forgot what my attack bonus was.
So even though my AC, even though some of the chains are melting and falling off, he still kind of scoops him up. And oh man! And what hurts the most is one of the decorative designs are chains on his shoulder pauldrons. One of those start to fall off, and while he's dragging him out of the room, you can see him be like, "Ah, shit!" And when he finally gets him out into the hall, man, this is a little bad.
Free action, drop him.
Let's see. There's something that I think that I could do that might be helpful.
You could do an action to do a medicine check if you wanted to.
Yeah, but that would only stabilize him. He'd still be out of the fight, right?
Yes.
So, I guess I will use my action to pull out the one other potion that we found in the last room. Because I'll just pull out of my pocket instead one of my healing potions. Because the other potion from the last room was a different color.
So that's 10 hit points. But that'll take your action to give it to him.
Okay, I know that sometimes it takes parts of actions to do things. So I was going to get it ready, or if I can administer it, I would do that. I'm fine either way. All right. Well then, yeah.
Yeah, we'll say that you can. That your shifting is You've not used your full extra movement that you've been given because of the shifting, so you're all twitchy and able to do all of this and just think extra quick on your feet.
And I'm okay if it's not the case, but if it is the case, then that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. Then I sort of, after pulling him out, turn him sideways and kind of have him rested on my knees, and I turn to the side, pull out this vial, and sort of force his jaw down and pour it like sort of like onto his tongue and under his mouth and stuff like that, so that he can imbibe. But yeah.
Nice, and you will regain 10 hit points, Quinn. The oozes, seeing only thing that's remaining left in the room, they are both going to go after Den and swing at Den. The first one, Den, and has a total of 9. How you doing? As it swings wildly. And the second one, both of them come toward you, and they're swinging. The second one, 7. Oh my gosh, finally I'm rolling bad. I apologize it's taken me this long.
Yeah, I think Den's feels like the hero now after pulling that dagger out of Quinn's hand.
Their butts beat by this thing. He's like, no. Perfect. So then it gets up to Quinn. Quinn, you wake up just in time to see Flu still over you, pouring this into your mouth, and out the corner of your eye, you sit up, and in there it looks like Den is dancing as he is deftly dodging all of these wonderful attacks by this ooze.
All right.
I like to think that whole time they were actually just attacking the door that Flu had used. They're like, this thing's gonna hurt us too.
Yeah, cool. Even better. Both of them move over toward that, and they just start trying to tear up the door. If you're doing very little damage.
Den's just standing there like, this isn't so bad.
All right. Coming to consciousness, Quinn heaves, and he will stand up, only taking up a very small more amount of space than he was lying down, and he would he's still got you pretty much drop everything when you go unconscious, don't you? So yeah. My shield would probably still be in the room, correct?
I guess it depends. Is it something that you've put it on your arm, or is it?
Generally, it takes an action to equip it and unequip it with shield. So I don't really.
I feel like that is because it straps onto your arm.
Right. So it's strapped onto my arm still. Cool. Would stand up. That takes up half my movement to do that. This thing really hit him for a lot. So I don't know. I think what Quinn would do in this situation is there a way to aid Den in getting away from this thing? Could I lean into the room with my hand and sort of hold my action to pull him in when it's his turn, to pull him out when it's his turn? Could I do that? So my move, the rest of my movement would be leaning into the room. Can I hold an action to aid him to get out of the room?
You can. Let's see. Let's say that what you're doing is you're readying an action to grab your friend and pull him out of the room, and the trigger is when he comes near you.
Right.
We can just put it into the category of ready.
Yeah. Okay, I do that. That's my turn.
Cool. So that makes it Den's turn. Quinn is at the door. He's back up. He's staying outside the room, but he's leaning in. He's like, come on, let's get away from this.
Yeah, so I think Den's like, dodge, looks to like look at Flu and like, hey, that's pretty cool, right? And Flu is gone. And looks down and Quinn is gone. So he turns to look at the door and Quinn's standing there with his arm out like, come on, what are you doing? Let's run. And so Den is going to take this opportunity to squeak out as best he can.
You don't want to take an attack against it? Or do you want to engage and get out?
I mean, I want to, but I also don't want to be in this room alone with it. Or Den does not want to be in this room alone with it. You said that the dagger seemed especially effective against it.
The dagger seemed to do more than your fire.
Right. Well, I think that at the very least, Den thinks that we're like making a strategic, maybe not escape, but that we're trying to get an advantage by using the doorway or something, maybe. And so he's like, okay, like he's a scholar. He's not used to being in fights. He's definitely not used to being in fights alone. And so he's gonna take the hand Quinn is offering to get out of this situation.
Okay, so you'll be able to, thanks to Quinn's very, very hearty insistence on a tactical retreat in your mind, Den. Quinn is able to help you get out of the room. And how far away are you getting out of there, Den? As a reminder, when you come out of the room, you guys, there is about 30 feet back the way that you came. There's also the hallway turns a corner very near to where you are, turning right, running parallel to that initial hallway. So, like, I
think that Den is still feels like he is the most prepared to fight, and so he's going to take a defensive position right beside the doorway to allow Quinn and Flu to make a move if they can.
Okay.
Especially after a successful attack, he feels more confident.
All right. So then, Flu, in an odd turn of events, Den has just taken up defensive posture with his back to you, protecting you from the oozes, now separating you from them, and he has this dagger in his hand. Flu, it's up to you.
You're muted.
Yeah, I'm muted, but man, I don't. Are we running away? I thought we were getting out of here. I thought that. I think just to stay in the mind of the character here. I think what I would probably do is, let me check the wording on something real quick. Sorry.
It's all right. Checking the wording on something. Do remember that the oozes come after you do, and their turn is directly following yours, Flu.
All right. Here we go. What's the thing? Here's the thing.
Well, thank God you threw the door into the middle of the room. It would be terrible if we could just shut the door.
Yeah. I think he's going to draw his sword, which is smoking, and he's going to run his hand kind of through his hair move the sword from side to side and kind of get down in a pose as well. But I'm going to cast False Life on myself.
Okay.
And sort of in preparation for whatever is happening next.
All right. What do you get for those hit points? Those 10 hit points. Gotcha. All right. So they are going to be, let's see. So how did you set yourself up in the door again, Flu?
So I don't think if he was back to back, I'm still out in the hallway, right? Because that's where I dragged.
Right.
Cool.
We all are, right? That was my intention, anyways.
Yeah, I think I would probably turn and put my back to the wall just on the outside of the doorway, assuming that these things are going to come to us here. But I have used everything I got.
Okay. So the first one is going to attack you then. You see them moving very slowly. And they both come up and they attack you, Den. The first one is going to get a 20 total. And the second one is only going to get a 12. How's your AC right now?
12 is my AC. So.
Do you not have shield or something? Oh, wait, no. You said you took up a defensive one. So they have... I apologize. You took up your defensive action, so that's your dodge.
Right.
The first one's only a total of 12. The second attack is an 8. So the first attack is 3 bludgeoning plus 4 acid. And they are both now right in front of the door. Are you dead yet, Den?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Halfway there. Not dead yet.
There. I will keep that in mind. So Quinn, let's see. Actually, are you wearing anything metal? Den?
No.
Any metal armor? Okay.
Nope.
So then, Quinn, we are back up to you.
Okay. Quinn is going to use his healing touch on himself, drawing power from his dragon mark.
Nice. Is that your action?
It will be. 1 second. So I'm going to regain.
That was an action.
Yes, it is an action. I'm going to regain 12 hit points.
Okay.
Nice. And I am not raging because I fell unconscious. I have a bonus action if I've got anything to do with it. I'm wondering, would it be... I'm just going to make as much noise as possible, trying to draw the attention of these things with that bonus action and with my movements. I'm like moving around, splashing in water, banging on my shield with what's left of my turn.
Okay. Den, you're up, and they're both right in front of you.
Is there any indication as to which one I attacked previously, or is it impossible to tell at this point?
Currently, it seems like there's a right one and a left one.
Okay.
That's what you can do in describing them. They are just two.
Okay. They look pretty much the same.
One left.
Okay. Well, previously I attacked the one on the right, and I'm then just kind of like shaking the acid sludge stuff off. Is gonna pull the dagger up and swing again. He doesn't want to go. Doesn't want anybody to go down again. So, kill as fast as you can is the new motto.
Yeah. Look at this. The wizard's the one fighting.
Yeah.
He's
Somebody.
the smart one is. Ooh. I don't know. Would you say he's not the smartest right now?
Maybe not the smartest,
What the rest
but
of the group
he is the one that just rolled a crit.
Sweet.
So that's a nat 20.
So roll a D4 and add it to it, right? D6 dagger, D4,
D4 dagger.
Yeah, do you choose?
I choose what?
Never mind.
So what were you saying? Do I roll 2d4?
No, just roll 1 and then add 4 to it, and then you're.
Oh hell yeah!
I'm assuming your dex.
That is 9 damage then.
Is that with your dex as well?
Yeah, that is with dex.
Oh man, in a moment of inspiration, you absolutely just stab into this thing, and this thing reels in pain. It looks to well, I guess if you can assume that you've heard it, it's responding in pain, but there's not really any physical, any kind of physical markings on it that it is in pain. Other than that, it continues to just get smaller as you cut away on it, but it is writhing in pain.
Okay, cool. I think the viewers, nobody else in the party sees, but the viewers would see Den look at Flu the same way he did before when Flu wasn't in the room anymore. and this time he's like, yeah, like, you saw that one, right? Like, look at me.
So. Flu, with your passive perception, you are noticing the one thing that is sticking out to you is that he keeps just going after it with his dagger, and this dagger that y'all found in there, it is not responding in the same way as the metal that you're wearing did when you got hit. There's something about this dagger that is keeping it up to snuff this entire time. And Flu, it is your turn.
Way to plant the seed of doubt. Flu might have been ready to go back in there and start swinging around, but now he thinks he might also lose his weapon, and that might not be a great way to go, considering he's already losing his armor. Did Flu ever notice if there was another door in this room, like a way out?
You did not see another door in this room. But you also remember that what you do remember is that Den got hit pretty good the last time around, and that they are both still there in front of him. And I don't think you have another potion left on you. Quinn just healed himself.
Well, so is he blocking the doorway?
He is not blocking the doorway, but he is currently in it. According to mechanically, you can step into the square that he takes up with, as long as he doesn't say no, and you can move in and out of that. So,
could I move to his square and then like 5-foot step to an empty space on either the left or right of these people inside the room?
There is not a 5-foot space. They are both, I guess, thinking of it as a map. The door is not. The way it's set up is that the door is between dots. I guess for lack of a better word, there's one here and there's one here. So the two of them are splitting the doorway.
Okay.
But he does have that dagger in his hand.
Well, you just want me to take it from him? Just want me to just take it out of his hand?
That would be perfect, because he's just looking at you all proud like he did it, but you realize that it's the dagger's fault that anything is happening. You're like, you idiot, give me that.
Yeah, but that dagger is probably only just barely more efficient in his hands than they are in the wizard's.
I mean, you could roll a crit just like the wizard did.
Yeah. If we just juggle the dagger between the three of us, we win this fight, no problem.
I'll take the dagger. No, I'll take the dagger.
No, you take the dagger. I
It's just
mean,
a puddle. You just keep skipping the dagger off the ground, and it bounces to the next guy.
can I move into his square, cast a spell, and then move out of his square?
You can, but you're going to be right adjacent to them when you cast that spell.
Right. And if I moved out of the spell, am I going to take 2 opportunity attacks?
Yes.
Man, that's a terrible idea. I don't think this is great. I honestly don't have any good ideas here. So I guess I am I'll take a step back so that everybody's got plenty of space to get out of my way, I guess. I don't know what to do.
So what you can do is, with the way that it's set up, you don't you have you can be at the side of the entrance right beside him and reach around the door and attack and have cover if it tries to attack you, just with the way that the door is set up and the way that everything's going.
I think though that he's concerned about his weapon getting degraded.
Definitely
Also,
concerned.
the door got surfed on earlier.
Well, if you guys can take it down and get some good hits in, then it wouldn't be degraded too much.
Did anybody bring a wood sword with them?
Where's my freaking flail? It was made out of stone.
Dang it. I'll never need this shit.
I'll never
need this.
That is the name of this adventure. Who even needs a flail?
I'll never need this.
So what are you doing?
What are you gonna do then?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna. I guess I'll just stab at thee. I'll just come around the side and hesitantly overhand swing this sword down from the side using the same way that he was earlier, foreshadowing perhaps, where he was poking his head around and saying, "Yeah, over there." He's doing the same thing, except he's bringing his sword down, ducking right back in behind Den.
All right. Make that attack roll.
It is not a crit, but it is probably a hit. That is a 21.
Definitely a hit.
All right. That is, let's see, D8 plus, that's 13. Max damage.
Okay. And that ooze is destroyed. However, in the destruction of that ooze, your weapon is at a -1 damage.
There's no way that this acid is it ignored by magical weapons?
Yes. Is your weapon magical?
That's a good question. Let's see. Additionally, whenever you finish, when you touch one weapon that you like proficiency, this benefit does not say so. So,
all right. So currently not magical. It's at a -1 damage.
It is my packed weapon, or not packed weapon, but you know what I mean. Hexblade weapon.
It will be.
So not
so the
magical.
one that's left.
If it doesn't
not magical.
It will be.
So let me ask you this. So I will roll my dice, add my modifier, subtract 1.
Yes.
Okay.
So the one that's left is still just a mindless idiot ooze, and will continue to attack Den. Den, that's a 12 again.
Why would you do that?
You don't have like shield or anything?
Why would you do that?
Dude, I seriously just rolled a 10 on the dice. He's got a +2.
I was so close to casting mage armor before I started this fight, and I was like, I'll do it during the fight. It'll be fine.
Dude, no! Mage armor lasts for like what? 8 hours and you don't have to concentrate?
I think it's just 1 hour, but
Okay, here we go.
but yeah, your point stands. I should have.
Bludgeoning damage is 2. And here comes the acids. Oh. Dude. Okay, you're going to take 3 acid.
I feel so good.
You feel so good.
I think Den's just
so good
standing
right
there
now.
naked. All his clothes have melted off. He's like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm the hero. It's fine.
Wait for a roll, you know? And it just continues to stand there and just mindlessly swipe at you. But Quinn, behind you.
All right. Well, I'll interact with my second weapon since my first weapon's still in the room.
I do want to continue to remind you, you do have that bag. With the furs
Also, I think that your first weapon, you reached out and grabbed the dagger that I am currently wielding, so you should still have your first weapon.
Yeah.
As far as I understand it.
I can't hold...
Unless you threw it away to get the dagger. I can't imagine you doing
Well,
that.
yeah, I would have put it away. All right. I guess it depends where the bag is. I guess it would be in my... How big is the bag? Is it pocketable?
Yeah. It's like a... As far as I've always thought of it, it's always been like the size of a coin pouch.
Yeah, seems like it would be on your belt.
All right.
And with you going as high as your initiative is, whatever initiative it rolls is bound to go after you and before it. Because, well, I'll tell you, it's going on initiative 2 right now. Because it had advantage on it, and I rolled 2 2s on advantage with its advantage on initiative.
All right. Yeah, sure. I will interact with the bag. And is it an action to throw it?
Yes, you just can't look in it when you throw it.
Yeah. I will throw the furry thing.
And you can throw it up to 20 feet. So if you want to throw it into the room behind it, that's an option.
You roll a d8.
Can I
yeah.
throw it like in between the two creatures?
There's only one remaining because one's dead.
Oh, you killed it, right? Yeah.
This one that's remaining is hardly been hit at all.
Yeah, I'll throw it into the room. And I'm rolling a d8, right? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I rolled
The 8.
4.
Get that 8.
Oh. That'll be a
Axe Peak.
axe beak.
All right.
So you got the axe beak. You got to name it. What's this axe beak's name when you throw it?
It's just like Pokemon. You like, go axe beak.
Well, I mean, his name, it could be like Steven or something like that. I mean, not Steven.
Well, here.
Unless you like Steven.
Roll initiative for it real quick.
Roll initiative for it.
And add 1.
17.
All right. It'll actually go right after Den. Cool. So there is now in front of you, it's a tall, flightless bird with strong legs and a heavy, wedge-shaped beak. It has a nasty disposition and tends to attack any unfamiliar creature that wanders too close. However, to always remind you, the creature is friendly to you and your companions, and it acts on your turn. I thought it acted it. So you can use a bonus action to command how the creature moves and what actions it takes on the next turn, or give it general orders such as attack your enemies. In the absence of such orders, the creature acts in a fashion appropriate to its nature. Perfect. So it's immediately going to act now because it is close to this thing and it's like, kill this thing.
And I have a bonus action, so I can command it. And its name is Snipe.
Snipe. Got it. So Snipe is going to make that wonderful attack roll. Sniper. Yeah, and Snipe, you watch as Snipe rears back and just starts slamming its head and beak in. Sorry, I just imagined it like one of the flamingos, and Alice in Wonderland. Just sorry. So it starts slamming its beak into the ground, and it nails it real hard to do a whole whopping 5 points of damage to it.
Nice.
Boom. Way to go, Snipe. So Den, you're up. You're muted.
Yeah, sorry. Caleb linked a terror bird, and I covered up my Hangout window. So Den is I feel like Den's got to be having some kind of flashback of waking up on the ground at this point, and remembers, oh yeah, I have potions, and so he's gonna like scramble to find one of his potions. And can I back up without taking? Am I engaged with it, or is the bird taking its attention away?
You can think the bird might take its attention, but if you move away, you're definitely going to draw its attention.
Okay, well, maybe I'll just down this potion then, and let it be. Which I think we said we're just doing these potions we have are solid 10 heal. Is that correct? Yep. Okay. Is that a full action to use a potion? I assume.
Yes. To use a potion, it's an action.
Can I toss this dagger to Flu without using another, like, as a bonus action, or is that going to be too much?
You wouldn't be able to toss it to him, but you could just easily say, "You here, fight with this," or "Take this, it works better," or something.
Yeah, so I think Den is just like, here, like he's like paying more attention to the potion than he is the dagger, but he's like motioning, like, come on, like, just take this one, works good. Like, this thing seems to be doing a good job to Flu, and he's like reaching out with the dagger towards Flu while chugging.
Yeah, so Flu will grab the dagger, and I guess since I still can't get into the room, I think this time he'll like duck down. And are you you're a human, correct, Den?
Yeah, look like somebody drinking a Gatorade there. Just,
I think Gatorade sponsor us.
Thank you. Yes, please. Duh.
Send me Gatorade.
Yeah, obvi. #1 audience.
It's like health potions.
Gatorade. It's like health potions. So yeah, I'm gonna
bright red.
I mean, D&D is an untapped market for Gatorade. Let's be real.
I mean, that's true.
There's a lot of crossover, but they haven't gotten into the role playing.
Hey, Kool-Aid
scene.
Kool-Aid sponsor us. There we go.
So I'm gonna stab here. This seems unlikely. With the stab.
Don't forget you have hero points.
Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and spin one because I've used one last time, but I'm going to use another one now.
And don't forget, and think of this, with it taking 2 games, we'll probably hit that level. So anything you don't use this game is gone.
I don't know. Last time you said something different, so I don't believe you.
No, that's what we'd probably level.
So I am proficient here, so that's going to be 13.
13. Are you sure that's it?
Yeah. Use the action point and get 1.
It is writhing in pain.
No, that was to
Rising
hit. I
in
didn't
pain.
do. I haven't done
That was
damage.
to hit.
That was just to hit.
Oh, well then, yes, that hits. Sorry.
Okay.
Not
I was
rising
gonna say,
pain.
man,
like-
I hit with a 12 earlier. Kind of overblowing.
Yeah. 4 damage,
13.
not 13. Just 4.
Oh, okay.
Come back down to earth here.
Well, we should
Well,
have
it's
not
still
said
hurting.
anything.
It's still hurting. And it's your turn now. And
No, that was my turn.
it's going to turn around. Yeah, sorry. It's the ooze's turn. It's going to turn around and it's going to attack Snipe. Snipe. Sweet! 5 to hit it. So he's going to miss Snipe as he goes at it like crazy. Quinn, it is your turn.
Quinn is clapping twice and going snipe, while while he's going to attack with his axe. Now, let me just do this. So, okay, this is what happens. You see, Quinn raise his weapon and go to strike it down, and it completely misses the creature, but it flings out of Flynn's hand, right, and does like an entire boomerang circle around his head, lands back in his hand, and the same swinging motion is going to attack again because I have lucky as a halfling and I rolled a 1. So I get to re-roll that attack. And that's what it looks like, a boomerang going overhead.
Yeah, I just love the boomerang thing from your
Right.
outback.
There's a moment of like, did that just happen? Catch.
Yes.
No, hit again.
17 to hit this time.
That
Quinn's
will
just
hit.
like, I did it
Wow.
on purpose.
Right, exactly.
There's that pause.
With an 8 on the damage roll.
8 on the damage roll. It is writhing in pain, not doing well at all. And unless you say anything else, Snipe's going to keep going.
Yeah. It's the attack. Double.
Yep. He gets a total of 20 on the attack roll, and we'll do maximum damage. And you watch as just Snipe goes to town on this other ooze, destroying it.
Excellent.
And now, all you hear in the silence is the sound of the breathing from your companions, the beat of your heart, and the ever so often ruffling of feathers as Snipe remains completely unhit and unscathed, and at the same time will remain with you and good with your friends and you until he's dead or until the next morning.
So we long rest, right?
It's not long rest. It's actually set up to be until the next morning.
Now, is the negative to my hand axe going to be to damage or to hit?
It is to damage.
Right. Okay, so one of my hand axes has 1 less damage. Okay, got it. Thank you.
I don't know if we have time for it, but is that acid damage something I can mend?
Something you can mend if... actually, no, this won't be something you can mend because there's nothing to mend.
Okay.
It has been eaten away rather than just broken.
Okay, cool. I didn't think so, but I've never, like, there's no specific rule about it in the mend text, so I want to ask.
If you can find another piece of armor, you could probably use remaining pieces of armor to mend it.
If only all the metal in this entire region wasn't magically disappeared. I guess I'm not using my personal dagger very much. I could use that.
Go ahead and make investigation rolls, y'all, if you'd like to.
Yeah, I think we should go into that room and look around. I would like to do that. $17.
Anybody else got an investigation roll, or you just want to go with that?
Quinn got a 5.
Okay, and a 15. Cool. So Flu and Din, you both ascertain that it is these two oozes that have been going through just destroying the metal that's been around. That at least it's very likely, unless you want to go as far as to think, oh no, there's a rust monster down here too.
Yeah, I think that at least Den was under the impression that it was stolen by whoever was here before us, so that's good news.
And
They're dead.
Flu definitely thought it was a rust monster, so he's happy that it went the other way in his case too.
So with that, then your Quinn and Flu, with your just quick glance around the room, just looking around, it looks like the room is let's see, the puddles are not necessarily in this room anymore. The floor is now just a similar kind of dampness to the walls and the ceiling. But the single remaining chest that is in here has been, as I said, the metal bindings and the hinges and the metal bits and bolts that were a part of it have all been eaten through.
But the chest is still intact.
Yeah, can we open
We,
or just push it apart?
No, like you could probably push it apart, but it's definitely not intact.
Yeah, I think he would just take it apart.
All right, taking it apart, you find a couple of books that are completely soaked through and sticky.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, unless Flu is going to, I think Den would pocket those, even though they're just because his background is at least somewhat in restoring books and artifacts. That is something that, like, even though he might not think that he can restore these, they are of interest to him just personally.
Okay.
But so the pages are fine?
No, it is, the book is completely soaked through and sticky, as in the let's see, you can assume that when the oozes were just devouring the portions of metal that were inside or on this,
okay,
it just sat in the ooze.
Okay, yeah, I'm imagining them they look totally ruined, basically.
Cool. Like, yeah, I think while this is going on, unless there's something else that would draw his attention, he would probably have casted Detect Magic and been looking right at this dagger.
Absolutely. But also, from where you are, you also see that door back there with the scorch marks in front of it starts to glow like crazy as well.
Which door? I thought there wasn't another door in here.
There's this stone door
with the fire that we took a picture of.
Okay, it's glowing like crazy.
Yep. When you lick the door, it tastes like evocation magic. Salty.
Well, I wish it tasted like illusory magic, because you just walk through it.
I think he might start when it kind of, this is sort of something that's just constantly going on, but I think he probably gets the largest pulses from things earliest, and as he gets closer to things, it might appear or taste magical. But I think, so this, since he has recognized that this door is magical. It sort of just has this constant glow that lets me know, but he still sees it pretty much like he normally would. And I think he would probably start investigating to see if he can find triggers and traps or anything like that on the door.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation roll.
With advantage because of all this detecting magic I did?
It sounds like a good idea. Go ahead.
I think so. Oof, thank goodness. I'm doing investigation. Investigation, that would be a 20. 20 total.
All right. You can totally tell that this door, that based off what's going on, there is evocation magic, and with your investigation, you're able to tell that through the dragon's head, that the magic of the evocation is centered at that point in the dragon's mouth, specifically spreading out to the rest of the door. And even with that 20, you can go as far as to notice that the dragon's eyes very subtly watch you. And at that moment when you start to look at the dragon, the eyes always snap back forward right after you catch it.
Are any of the other ones doing that?
No. In fact, the goat head and the lion head are immovable from what you can tell.
I think the curiosity is killing him. Hopefully not literally. Is this like is it like sculpted into the wall?
It looks to be part of the door.
I think he would stand just to the left of it, taking note of where these scorch marks are, standing away from it. And without looking, he would reach over and he would touch the dragon face.
Make a dexterity save. You can have advantage.
Okay. Dexterity save is an 18.
All right. Dexterity save, you are... Sweet. You are going to take 3 fire damage.
Okay.
Coming specifically from that dragon's mouth. It literally looks towards your hand, and you watch as the entire head moves, breathes, and in that split second, breathes in and blows that fire, and then goes back to position.
I think he kind of realizes that's what happens, and a little bit of his sleeve in this fire kind of burns off, but just as it's sort of turning to ash and floating away, a new sleeve kind of reappears right on it, as he only burns some of his temp hit points away. He'll actually cast Fiendish Vigor on himself a couple of times until he feels just right. And we'll kind of call to the other guys and tell them that he might have found something. And explain, like, this is, yeah, so check it out. The dragon's eyes, even if you ain't looking at him, he's going to be watching you. And then when you look at him, snap, boom, eyes straight ahead. Nobody's looking. At ease, soldier. That whole thing, right? So, but it is magic as hell. Now, I don't know if it's just a trap. Seems like it looks like a door to me, though. So maybe on the other side, maybe we'll find what we're looking for. Or at least a way to get the hell out of here.
Well, Quinn, I just want you to know that I was listening when you told us there was probably a trap on the door. Seems our friend here scorched his clothes a little bit, but I do think we should. There's nowhere else to go unless we can find a way to get that stairwell back down here. So
Yeah, look, Quinn will follow the walls around, just sort of tracing his hand along the rest of the walls in these rooms that we've been in, and he's just going to let his hand go over the stone or packed dirt or whatever it is that is the walls of these rooms, and basically he's just seeing if there might be anything else, any other entrances that might be somewhat concealed or something, just in case. Because though Quinn isn't necessarily scared of going in there, he also doesn't want to disrupt the spirits. So he's like, maybe there's something else. So he's just before he goes in there.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation roll then.
All right.
Yeah, I was going to ask if there's like, if I could make a history roll, if there's anything about Dedeneth that might give us a clue about what's going on with this door.
Sure, go ahead.
Because, yeah, Kenneth is kind of like at odds with House Deneth. So,
Denise. Ignore Caleb. It's not Dennis.
yeah, I'm looking at a wiki page right now about the house, and it is definitely Denise.
So, so I rolled a natural 20 on my investigation.
Yeah.
I guess for Quinn, this is the spirits whispering to him because he's not good at investigation. So it's a total of 19, being that you can't crit on a skill check. It's 19.
Okay.
But it's the best that he can possibly roll.
Cool. So what you've got then is in this room, checking for them, you are definitely not finding anything, but with the spirit speaking to you, you keep hearing, "You are so close. You are so close."
Cool. Then I would join the others in front of the doorway.
And with your 22 history check, you know that you are definitely at odds with them, with House Dedeneth, but this burial mound predates any animosity between your house and their house.
Okay, cool.
And with that moment, since we already have a little bit going on, let's go ahead and take a 5-er, and I'll see you guys back in a minute.
Awesome. Cool.
So, catch you in a minute.
Nice. All right. Comfortable. Scene change. And sweet. Cool. So what is your guys' plan? What are you going to do now? Let's see. Look at some skills. Let's see. Yeah, with the way that everything's going now, you kind of get a feeling that the main hallways could be going around this building with the magical door.
Was that the building? Oh, didn't quite. Something's going around the magical door?
The hallway that you guys have been in, you know, with as much as you've seen of it in the direction that it could be going, this portion of the crypt with the magical door, it seems the hallways could be potentially going around that room that this magical door leads into.
Mm. And are the walls stone? The walls of the corridor?
Yes, worked stone. Everywhere down here is all worked stone.
And it's all pretty well intact. Like there's no, erosion or any loose bricks that we can see. I mean, I had a pretty good run over with my hands.
All right. Now this looks to be masterfully made, and as if there's not been a whole lot to interact with it, as to go along with something that Flu was able to figure out earlier in this this little series. There's not really been any kind of natural disasters of note to shake up the earth to hide this or to move it. So
yeah,
almost like the Great Pyramid, it's in great condition.
Yeah, both the floor and the roof are pretty much the same work stone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So I would ask Fleur at what point the dragon actually turned around and breathed. Like, was it when the fingers went into the holes? Was it just when you were waving your hand over it?
Yeah. Flu kind of looks at you and he wishes he had a better answer for you. But yeah, he was actually looking away, just sort of feeling for it. So unless you can tell me where I was with my hand, DM, I may not have much information for him.
Okay. All right. And you were looking away, and you do look scorched, right? Like maybe like your hand's okay, or your the piece of fabric was okay, but it does look like it actually burnt. It wasn't just hot; it actually burnt before it was replaced with the magic because of the temporary hit points.
Right. Yeah. It was heat wouldn't necessarily itself pull that away. So I think Flu would be aware that that could have hurt or should have hurt more.
So, yeah, I think Quinn's probably the wrong person to be like making investigation rolls. In fact, he's definitely the wrong person for that. But I think, given that he knows that somewhere near those eyes would trigger something, he would run his hands over everything else that wasn't that dragon's head, and see if there was any other things that he could press in. So he would be applying a decent amount of pressure. And I think if worst came to worst and he didn't find anything, I think he would tell the others to back off and walk around the corner, and he would specifically press his fingers quite hard into those holes. And he has danger sense, so when he can see a danger effect, he does get advantage on dex saves against things that he can see. So that might give him some sort of edge in that case. But I think he understands that there's probably a trigger here. He doesn't know whether there's something else. So he's running his hands across the whole surface, and if there's nothing, he'll press his hands in to see if the pressure of that, with the fire coming out, like he would just grin and bear it, I guess, would actually mean that it would trigger something. Because the reaction, he thinks in his head, the reaction of a normal person would be if they did find the thing and press their fingers in, that the fire would make them react and pull away. And he's thinking, maybe if I continue to press rather than pulling away, maybe that will actually trigger something. So that's what's going on in his head. That's what he's thinking. He's saying this aloud.
Okay. As soon as you put your hands on the door, make a dex save.
All right. Anywhere on the door?
Anywhere on the door.
All right. I got a 14.
All right. Then you will take a total of 3 points of fire damage.
Okay.
As soon as you touch the door, the dragon head looks at your hands, looks at you, and blows fire onto you, and then sets back.
All right. Being that, I can't continue to do that forever. Can
I just interject real quick?
Yeah.
I have two things. Jim, how common knowledge? I feel like Den would know, but is it like common knowledge that Denise is basically renowned for protective magic, like barriers and stuff? So like all of us would know, like if they put a ward on this thing protecting it, we're not getting through it unless we figure out how to get like the trick to it, right?
Okay.
Like I feel like just like
that's a good
universe, at least Den would be like, look, if there's probably a way in, and the way in is not the obvious thing. But did you also say that it appears that the hallway wraps around this room?
Absolutely.
Like there's a corner we could go around to somewhere else, that like somewhere we haven't.
So right now, standing facing this carved doorway, to your right behind you is that first room. To your left behind you is the second room. But then about, let me count it again, nearly 20 feet to your right. The hall extends about 20 feet to your right and to your left before making a turn that runs that way.
Parallel. Yeah.
Right. So we might be able to find another wall with another entrance, potentially. I mean, not that that's...
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's a safe assumption.
Okay. Yeah, because I think that Den is like, well, I'm not getting burned trying my turn. Like, it's not my turn to touch the door and get burned. So let's
So as
Walk
you're
down the hall.
facing that door, then the hallway down the right is the way that you've come. The hallway going down the hallway to your left is the way that you have not gone yet. So
I think,
do you
yeah, I
want to
think
go
Den
back
is.
the way you came?
I think Den is leaning
Because
towards the
there's
room
still
with the statue in it, or like in that back that direction that we came. Maybe.
okay.
He's not gonna just like go alone necessarily, but I think Den's like, guys, I really think you should stop touching the door, and maybe we can check out, the rest of this hall before we resort to trying to bash this heavily protected door down.
Okay. So which way do you then go?
I'm okay with either way. Like I said before, Den feels safer going back into the room with the statue, but he also thinks that the way out is probably further in. So he's probably not going to take the lead on this. In fact, I think Den says, we're not going to play with this door anymore. Which way do you guys want to go? Because we can move on.
There was also, right at the start of this underground area, for want of a better term, there was also another passageway that led off in a different direction, right? Like,
Right. So when you guys came down the stairs with the statuesque creature in front of you, you went left. That led you right down this hall. If you would have gone right, that hallway would have continued further right rather than making that immediate turn that sent you this direction.
so I think so. Quinn's opinion is that we should continue ahead before turning back to avoid turning back and then having to come back again. Not that it's terribly far, but he sort of goes, if we get to like an end, then there's that. If we get to more doors that continue on further and further and further, then maybe, okay, fair enough. But he's thinking, let's just, this room can't go backwards forever. And so if we go to where we're headed now, like the same direction, and go into whatever the next area is, if there's any doors or whatever, we'll know. And if it looks like it's gonna keep on just going, then yeah, maybe turn back then and go around.
That sounds great to me, Corsair. If we can make a deal right now, maybe let's talk about doorways before we barge in and fight ooze monsters. But I'd be glad to follow your lead on this one. Flu, how do you feel about going?
Yeah,
deeper?
no. I mean, it sounds good. I think we should just avoid any of those monsters.
Yeah, the ooze monsters are horrible. I
Yeah.
hate the ooze monsters.
Yeah, I had enough of those guys. I don't like the jib. I don't like the smell of their jib.
Yeah, so I think I hate their gym. I think that Den's not gonna immediately like, okay, I'm the leader now, but he's like, okay, he's beckoning someone to start walking deeper.
So
since you're going to go ahead and just start going on, then Den, are you going back the way you came to go down that first hallway then, or are you going to go along with a little bit more of what Quinn was suggesting? And
yeah, Den's on board with Quinn. If he just doesn't want to be the first one down the hallway.
Uh-huh. So then, who's going to lead? Or are we going to stand here?
I'll go ahead. It's all right. I've got a shield.
All right. So, you go about 20 feet down the hallway then. You're in front. Den, are you then behind Quinn?
I was going to say, I think that Den is like, oh yeah, let's just go deeper. And then, like, as soon as Quinn turns around, he, like, silently to himself casts mage armor, and you see his clothes kind of come alive the way that the other, like Quinn's did earlier, which puts me up to a 15 AC. But he will go second.
All right. Then that means Flu, you are third in line. Cool. So you go about the 20 feet in the way that you were continuing.
I just want to make sure that I still have my detect magic going at all times here to see if I'm suspecting there might be another door.
All right. With that detect magic, so first Quinn turns the corner, turning right. Den comes after him. The further down this corridor you're going, you start getting a more uneasy feeling. And this is a different kind of uneasy feeling. You can definitely tell that it has something to do with your detect magic, but it's definitely there's a lot going on that's not. Something feels very off and very wrong. This is a new feeling for you from your detect magic. Turning that corner, when you finally do, you see just shining out from in front of you down this new hall, a light coming out of the wall on your right. You assume that it's from this room that you feel that you're walking around. At the same point, Quinn and Den up front, you can see that there is now a huge double door cut into the wall on your right, but at that same time, that huge double door across from it is the hallway continues on absolutely further on around this room, and about another let's see, almost 45 feet down the hall, it makes another right turn, assuming that it continues to go around this room, and your thoughts becoming this central room. But on your left, across from this door, is a 15-foot wide hallway stretching off away from the door.
So hallway. I'm sort of getting kind of lost.
Okay, well, let me pull out some post-it notes and show you what I mean. So I can cover up my map and I guess show you where this is all heading. All right, this should work. Here we go. This is what you know of the map so far. It doesn't help. It's not hiding any of the rooms at all.
I can see right through that.
Player knowledge.
Shot.
You guys suck. Here. You see that? That's where you've been. Didn't work at all. Okay. Well, okay.
I have a terrible memory.
Yay for the wizard with the terrible memory. Here, I'll draw it real quick. It's not too hard. There. This is what you know so far. That's there.
And those two
And you entered.
We've been in, right?
Yes.
Where the users were. And could you mark the?
Yep.
Could you mark? Oh, yeah. So the
entrance.
Yep.
The first door that you found that's magical, double doors, 15-foot hallway. The rest of the hallways you found are 5 foot.
Okay. 15-foot hallway. Okay. Nothing's changed about the stone in this 15-foot hallway?
No. Nothing has changed about the stone.
If I know anything about hallways, ominous hallways. It probably leads to Fort Bones or some shit. So more. I think Den says that. If I know anything about hallways that look like that.
Ominous hallway.
Yeah, well, as far as I can tell, it's probably someplace where, I don't know, it seems like it's more, what's the word? Like proper, more like used. You know, these thinner corridors, like they're less important. Maybe this is like a thorough way.
Well, from where you are, hearing all this conversation, and Flu catches up into this to see these double doors. Also, with the light that you're getting from Den as well, there are two what look to be doorways 10 feet in along each wall. The doors are missing and the hinges are gone. But there looks to be you're getting an odd reflection from in there. From your perception,
the double doors are gone. Is that what you said?
No, not the double doors. Down the 15-foot hallway.
Oh, okay.
Down that 15-foot hallway, Quinn and Flew, with your passive perception, the light just hits them the right way that you can tell that there are it looks like humanoids standing in those rooms in the left and the right.
Look like we have some sort of creature in there. I sort of lean in. They moving? Can't quite see.
From what you can tell, they are not moving at all.
How big is the? How wide is the double doorway?
It takes up 10 feet.
Okay. But something magical is glowing inside or behind that door.
No, the door. Both of these doors are glowing as well.
Do they have? Can I locate where? Does it have the 3-headed symbol on each door?
On each door.
Okay, and can I figure out where? Does this one the same as the other one? Like from the dragon, it had 2 lines sort of connecting the other 2. Does this one have a similar mechanism that I can notice?
In terms of mechanism, it looks like it's the dragon head.
Okay. I think he would kind of blink a couple of times and still kind of getting this woozy backlash. He would break his concentration on it or uncast the spell or whatever just to dispel it. And I think he would turn to the other 2. Yeah, I can't say that I'm sure what it is. I don't know if they're moving or not. It's hard to tell. But sidebar, these doors over here seem to be lined up with the same dragon head as we saw before. And whatever's going on down there is getting me all wicked wild up right now. So I'm not sure what the next move is, but I mean, maybe I'm just telling you what I can see.
Quinn's gut is, I guess, to follow the wall that is the same wall as what that room is. So the room that we're trying to get into, he wants to follow that wall to see if it goes all the way around. So
okay.
Wherever we go, he wants to see if it'll go all the way around.
So doing a quick check of the rest of just going around that room, you are able to rightly ascertain that this room is surrounded by this 5-foot hallway. At the end, you do find that there is a, so let's just say the way that you're walking, when you come in, you are walking south. So it is the central room, based off of what you can figure out, is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 feet wide and 30 feet long. So north-south is 30 feet, east-west is 35. There seems to be another room in the southwest corner, and its door is gone, but you're ignoring that for the sake of finding the outside of this. Going along the on the west wall of this central room, there is another carved door with the symbol of the Deneath family on it. There is another room on the northwest side with the door gone, hinges all eaten up again, and there is no door on the northern wall of the central room.
Right. So, and each of the doors leading into the central room all have this basically the same symbol on them.
Yes.
And are all of those doors the same stone, or some of them wood?
They are all stone.
Okay.
The doors where to the central room are all stone. The doors that are exterior into other rooms are all wooden, but the hinges are gone, and the doors are left lying in the floor in front of it.
Cool. So, upon finding that, and knowing that indeed, it does go, like these corridors do go all the way around it, and there are all of these off doors that lead to wherever else. I think Quinn's next thing would be, yeah, well, we don't know yet how to get in there. All the doors seem like they're the same. Maybe we can find a key in one of these off rooms if we go one by one. Unless one of you has a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, we could try and find a key. It's I guess it's just hard because I got this real odd feeling about going any further in here. Of course, we're going to, because that's the job.
Wait. The job was to get a picture of this place, and we already took our one picture. I mean, I'm all for finding something valuable, but
yeah, we don't have to.
I mean,
but we have to get.
We can just go figure out those stairs if.
And there's that other corridor where we came in as well. We don't know what's down there neither.
I mean, for all we know, it's just statues down there, like the one we saw before.
But we're not going to know until we go, right?
I mean, you're the sneaky one, so...
Yeah, you just tell us where you want to go, and we'll go with you.
Corsair, that's like a captain, right? I mean,
well, let's talk about self-preservation. So where Quinn goes now with what he's thinking is, if we can find a way out, then we can at least say, do we want to double back and try and figure out how to get into this central room? Because right now it's not essential. What is essential is that we get out, because we don't have supplies to last us forever. So Quinn's like, okay, we know that this room's there. We know how to get to the room. We don't know how to get into the room. Let's see if we can find a way out.
Wait, what if we send what was the bird's name? Spike.
Snipe, yes.
What if maybe we just send Snipe down the hallway and see what happens. Stay at a safe distance. If you know, I might say this a lot, but what's the worst that could happen?
Well, Snipe obeys our commands. I guess, yeah, we can just use him as a body.
Better him than us. He's magic. He's a magical. He'll just poof out of existence if something bad happens to him.
So do we look for an exit further into this thing, or do we go back and try and find an exit where the staircase came down?
Either way, I feel like we aren't getting paid enough to dig too much deeper. Considering what we're getting paid is the bag and the dagger we already have. So, if you feel like we can't leave without making more progress, then that's okay. But we do need to leave at some point.
Well, that's what Quinn's saying. Is
yeah, I mean,
find an exit, but we don't know which way the exit's going to be. We don't know if there's another cavern entrance like what we found up above.
Right.
Because that was just like a mound, right, that we found. We don't know if there's more of these mounds where there could be an exit or another entrance, or if that was the only one. Okay, I think...
Flu, while they're having this conversation, you're becoming quite ill. Just this overwhelming nausea. And it's not from their conversation. Just that hall, ever since coming into vicinity of that big 15-foot hallway, you just have this terrible feeling, this dread, this almost illness. And there, now you can't see the rest of it. Ha! Take that, suckers.
Yeah.
I think that Flu would kind of rub his forehead, probably wipe off a little sweat. And I think he's probably been like fixated on this hallway while they've been talking. And I think he would probably just try and wander into the, I guess, the southwest around the corner, like keep walking forward towards one of those rooms that we hadn't been into yet, just to try and get away, sort of distance himself and walk around a little bit. He keeps telling himself he needs to get some fresh air, but there's not really any to be had down here.
Okay, so you're gonna go to that southwest room, not the one in the big 15-foot hallway.
So I mean, that's what seems to be like making him sick, right?
That 15-foot hallway.
I mean, I don't think unless he's being drawn there for some reason. I don't know why he would go there. Because right now it seems like that's the source of his discomfort.
Cool. So then that southwest wall, as you mentioned, your perception and your dark vision, luckily, kind of separating yourself from them, you're still able to see. Before you step into that room, as you step into the room, you only go in 5 feet. You can't necessarily see anything on the walls. The walls, for the most part, look completely blank. But there is along the left wall, over in the far southwest corner, about 25 feet into the room. There is a dead body.
Fresh
There
dead.
is. Make a medicine check.
Do I have to go over to it?
Do you want to?
I mean, not particularly.
Make that medicine check. Make it a disadvantage.
7.
Okay. From the looks of it, you can't quite tell. But you can't tell if it's fresh, but you can tell that it definitely is not. It's not wearing any clothes of your expertise.
So, being that he's headed in
it doesn't look over 100 years.
Yeah, being that he's headed in a direction, and being that we've been like chatting this way and that about where to go, I would shrug and and look up at Den and just go, that way's better than none. And follow after Fleur.
Okay, so Flu, you are 5 foot in. Make a perception roll for me real quick.
I'm muted. Sorry, that is a 17.
All right. You notice with your dark vision, you're not able to see anything on the walls. Like there's nothing in here in front of you that looks like it could have killed this guy. But you do know 2 odd things with that 17. There is a boot that looks like it would fit a small humanoid. And above your head is your head, literally looking directly in front of you, not seeing you, is a large carved dragon head sticking out of the ceiling above your head, or sticking out of the wall above the doorway. The dead body does look to be singed.
And there's a small boot.
When Den and Quinn show up, you get full-on light into this room now. Den and Quinn, you've noticed that having just is barely having taken a step into the room, Flu is standing there looking around, looking over in the corner. He's not in the way. You'll be able to see that there is a body over there laying in the corner near the south west of this room, about 25 feet away. And there's a small boot. But he is not moving into the room.
Mm.
The body looks to be singed. If you'd like to make a medicine check from where you are, you can do it with disadvantage.
I think by now, having walked into a couple of rooms and having things, come to life and attack, and being pretty hurt, not having had a full night's rest, Quinn's sort of learning to leave well enough alone. There doesn't seem to be anything else in the room other than this body. And I think he would just go, she'll be right. It'll just...
And I forgot. I apologize. In the northwest corner, there's an open doorway. So this
Okay.
room leads to another room.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize. That probably would have made a difference. But with that 14 medicine and the light, Den, the body looks pretty scorched.
So, what? You think we should make a run for it?
Well, there ain't nowhere to move to run to, but I don't think we should go in there. We can see well enough what's in there. If we need something,
Let's see.
we can come back.
Gentlemen, make wisdom checks for me. No proficiency. All right. All right.
No proficiency, so just a flat roll.
Flat roll plus wisdom. All right. So Quinn, something immediately there's the magical dots are connected in front of you in your mind, and all of a sudden, click, the connection is made. Up when you entered the false burial chamber up top, there were hoof prints or horseshoe prints all throughout the entrance, and the left footprint of a small creature.
Yeah.
So if he lost the boot down here, this is the way out. Because if he lost his boot down here, then that means he was walking up there.
What to where the door is, but he's all the way in the room.
Is the body a small humanoid body?
No, that body is not a small humanoid body.
Okay.
Do you still have your detect magic on?
No, I turned it off.
Yeah, I did turn it off, and I think
Okay.
the wooziness would keep him from trying it out just yet.
Okay. Looking around the room, you finally notice something very odd. The three of you do. Looking in this room, again, the only person in the room right now is Flu. Just a step into the room. Flu, again, you're still directly under that sculpture of the dragon head that's sticking out from the wall above the door. Ever so slightly, you realize off to your left, your far left, and your far right, it looks as if a goat begins to trot out from beside the wall that you're on, running parallel to your left, and then a lion goes out from the wall on the right. These look as not carvings, but these look more like paintings, and would be the first paintings that you've seen down here. But these paintings are, the more you watch them, the more they are definitely moving.
I'm gonna send Snipe into the room.
See, how far do you send Snipe into the room? Just go for it. Stand there beside Flu.
Being that Snipe can't gauge distances, walk over to that body.
Cool. As soon as Snipe takes 2 more steps away from Flu or past Flu, easily you all watch a spectral figure of the ram leap out of the wall, run into Snipe, run throws Snipe across the room into the wall, and you watch the lion's claws come out and just shred Snipe, and then fire shoots down from above Flu's head, right at Snipe, turning him into a fried chicken.
Excellent. Yeah, well, that's why I didn't want to go in there.
Is there any way that Flu might have, knowing the ways of, since he's the archaeologist background, is there any way that you think I feel like Flu would have been watching where this bird was walking to see if he stepped on some sort of trigger?
Okay, cool. Looking and watching, you find that the bird did not step on any or part of the ground that looked any different or was carved any different. However, as soon as he did step those few steps away from you into the room, the dragon head snapped in his direction. Watched as the ram ran right into it, and then you watched the head rear back and start blowing as soon as the claws were finished tearing it apart.
Hey, what do you reckon about those doors back there? Do you reckon if something was covering the dragon's eyes, that it would still turn and breathe fire on you?
I mean, that's as good a plan as I ever heard. I think I'm willing to try anything because I think that's the door to freedom. So yeah, Flu would walk back out and try and find the closest statue or carving in the wall.
Okay. So directly back from you, as you turn around to walk out the door, 10 feet to your left is the door that's on the western wall of the central room.
And he'd kick on his detect magic to see if this door was favoring the dragon.
Absolutely.
So he says, "Well, let's try it on this one." And I think what he would do is he would probably go for the forearm part of his sleeve, and he'd tear a chunk of it off, and try and find a way to fasten it over this dragon's eyes.
Okay, you're going to need to make a let's go with a acrobatics check, because you're having to be careful.
All right, 19.
And okay, with that acrobatics check, you are able to find some way to very, very carefully cover up that dragon's eyes without it seeing you or watching you do it.
And okay. Do you want me to touch the door? I'll volunteer. Being that was my idea. With the dragon's eyes covered, Quinn tries to touch the door.
Okay, make a dexterity save with advantage.
I have it anyway, but yeah. 19.
Cool. You watch as the dragon face breathes in to start breathing fire, and then there's a pause, as if it doesn't realize why it's doing it, and it just stops. So you're able to touch the door right now.
If my detect magic is on, has anything shifted in that?
No, it's still showing that it is Um, well, it is still showing that it is going to light you up, but it looks more like it looks like it is weaker.
So what do? We push on one of the other heads? What do we think?
You're looking at trying to force your way through this door.
Well, being that I can now touch it without getting breathed on, I think Quinn would just try and feel if anything presses inwards or turns or anything else. Now that he can actually put his hands on it.
Okay. Putting your hands on it, you are able to feel that the door starts. It gives ever so slightly.
It gives.
So it's going to take a lot more.
So, like, shoulder into it, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a good start.
So, Quinn turns around and he says, "Well, seems like a bad idea, but door seems to be given a little. Maybe if we lean on it hard enough, or if someone's got a crowbar, we could get it open. Seems like a bad idea, though."
Well, we work together to get in here. Maybe we need to work together to get out.
But does this lead out? Is this just the other?
Probably not. And I think Den just puts a shoulder into the door with.
All right.
Man, I think Flu turned his pack around and pulls out a crowbar, because he does have one. And he jams it whatever way would help them get leverage.
Okay. So you'll all make athletics checks, and Flu, you can make yours with advantage.
$19.
Yeah. With everything that you need, that door opens right up. And as you open this door, you are blinded by light so glorious as to rival the orbs in the heavens. As your vision returns, you finally see your first glimpse of the burial chamber of Rena de Deneath. Banners bearing the Deneath crest hang long on the walls. The mark of the sentinel is engraved into the walls, carved in wood. Decorative heads of dragon, ram, and lion are expertly placed. Dominating the room is a large sarcophagus in the center. On the lid is a carving of the first to bear the mark of the sentinel. But behind the carving of the sarcophagus, a figure turns to face you, golden from head to toe. Figure sees you.
Yeah, Flu immediately kind of puts his hands up, and he's looking around the room, and then looks, and he says, "Sorry, this feels a little ridiculous, I guess, but Rita."
The golden figure looks at you and says, "You are not Deneath."
No.
And just looks at you blank.
Actually, that is correct. No, we are not. But you might not be aware of this, but your burial location has been lost to time. And we're down here, and honestly, part of what we're doing here is so that we might be able to get your location back to your family, because I know it would mean a great deal to you guys. The person that we work for, of course, would share this information. We just came down to make sure that it was true. We are not. We mean we are nothing.
This is not my burial chamber. This is the chamber of waiting.
For what?
This is not, well, for you. And all of a sudden the eyebrows shoot up. For you.
Oh, Flu, we really should have taken a picture of this instead of the door.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she wants to get a selfie with me though. So, do you know where the door is to the room of waiting? We'd really just like to get back to the surface. You know.
If you wish to be at the surface so much, then why are you down here?
Trying to find a way out.
Oh, honestly, my friend here fell onto a button that made a stairwell, and we've been stumbling around these dark hallways.
you got a real bad ooze problem.
Yeah, we took care of most of it, it feels like.
Rena thanks you. But
yeah, all your metal's gone.
You are not the first to disturb these chambers. Only but a few days ago were there others. And before that, a few years.
Sorry, your godliness. Did you talk to them too?
No.
So just so we're clear,
Neither made it into here.
Did they leave?
One
here
did not even attempt. All left. And then she gestures towards the two large doors on the south side. A group, many, came in, marching as if a large battalion, but did not seem interested in the rest of Rena Didanith's tomb. The other group, but days ago, attempted many times to open the doors to no avail. They were not judged true, nor were they Didanith.
What?
I was able to sense their failure, and I allowed them to leave.
What's that mean for us?
Why are you here?
To take a picture to prove that this place exists. A picture is a thing, like a still image, but like it's a thing.
and Quinn would add there was a dual purpose, two purposes. One, to find this tomb, to take a picture of it so that we could take it back and so that the family Didanith would know where it was so that they could get their records updated. And two, if we did find it, that there might be a rod that belonged to that family that they might be thankful for. We've knew that we might not find that, and so our primary purpose was just to find the place and get out, but we haven't found an exit yet, and the staircase closed on us as soon as we came down it.
That I am sorry. But not only do I wait, I allow those who may be to come down. And she opens her hands and gestures to the memorial shrine of Rena de Deneth. However, what you seek is not, and again she gestures down at the shrine, here. I have opened the way for you. I commend your perseverance and welcome your appearance. So tell me, though, what have you done down here this past day?
I think looking at his companions, Quinn would just lay the truth all bare. You wouldn't have a reason not to. It would say exactly what they've come up against, exactly what they've seen, like the dead body and whatever, and all of these traps and all of these things. And yeah, would just sort of lay it out.
There is, as you speak of all of the dead bodies, the dead body, that person not being Deneth, the only way to have gotten through that room, well, and she looks in around the room, she says, the answer would have been in here. Thank you for taking care of the monsters that have come down here. However, there are many more monsters, much more potentially dangerous. And she looks toward that south wall.
Do you wish them purged from this place?
I do. It would make Rena proud. However, I do not believe
ourselves.
I do not believe that the three of you would be able to. I do not believe that you and your friends would be able to. I do not believe that you and your friends and their friends would be able to. But, and she looks to the south, you will have to see for yourself. I do not believe that those who came here within the past few days have been the purest of heart or had the best intentions. If you would like to look around.
Did they take anything or do anything to defile this place?
They did.
And can that be righted?
Vengeance, if you wish.
We would.
I know that Rena would appreciate it.
Perhaps we could return what was stolen if we could find these people. Being that they didn't come into this chamber, correct? Right? They were outside and it only sensed their presence. Is that correct?
Oh, they attempted to come inside. Did you not see outside of the doors?
We saw hoof prints, and we saw the on the surface, and we saw the burn marks on the outside.
Outside of these doors, and she gestures towards the three doors in the room.
Right. Yeah, we saw the burn marks.
That was a result of their attempt.
Okay.
As I said, the evil still here is great. And where that evil goes could threaten those of you in, well, what do they call the land now? Karnath, I think.
Quinn says, okay, what about we take this information back to your family, the family Denise, and maybe we can start on a plan to do something about that. Because we obviously can't, just the three of us, but perhaps with the resources of the whole family Denise, that might be possible.
Please, before I answer that, and she looks to the south, take a look for yourself, and then come back and talk to me. It is best explained if you see it.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a good idea. We'll go check it out. Let me ask you a question first. Your name isn't Rena. What's your name? That's not the question.
I am not.
Please. I'm sorry?
I am not Rena.
You are not Rena.
But I am a friend of Rena.
Okay.
I am not.
Okay. Well, okay, not Rena. And he kind of looks around the room. Is this room just fully adorned in like beautiful ancient treasures?
No.
Okay.
All around this room there are, as I said, banners of House Denise hanging all over the walls, long ways. Carved into the walls is the mark of the Sentinel. And on this sarcophagus, it looks like what you expect to find King Arthur's tomb. It's a carving to look like him resting holding a sword. This is a carving on top of this faux sarcophagus shrine, as she keeps calling it, of the carving of Rena Denise. But this golden person continues to say, she is not here.
If we go and have a look to this evil in the south, are we able to get back here? My concern would be that we leave this room intact, so that if any other people with evil hearts or unworthy hearts would still not be able to enter the way that we have. We would want to leave it in such a way that it can be resealed.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Quinn, though some give me the title Corsair. It was made in jest.
Sir Quinn, through your efforts you have opened the door, and you have not proven yourself, nor have your friends proven themselves to be malicious. I will keep the door open to you. Rena would only have it that her resting place not be disturbed. But this, and she continues to gesture toward that sarcophagus and that carving in the center of the room, is not her resting place.
All right. What is this, then?
This is the shrine to her.
What down that hallway is, what's making me feel like queasy? I feel like I just had like a $2 hoagie on a bad day.
What is your name?
Given?
What do you choose to go by?
Oh well, you see, it's kind of funny. You see, my name here is it's Bubani Fromage. Faraj, excuse me, wrong name. Bubani Faraj. But you can just call me the Flu, and don't take this personally. But go ahead, ask me why. No, go ahead, ask me. I'm about to give it. Don't worry about it. It's just it's French. Yeah, Bubani Faraj. But Flu is fine. Your Excellency.
Mr. Flu, as I have said, you would be best served seeing it.
What, the $2 hoagie I'm about to extrapolate out of? You think, okay, so the doors, though, we can just go out those. Here, we don't got to go through the side hatch.
I would highly suggest that you go through the door you entered through.
And you're going to let us leave. Once the thing at the end, we've seen it, you're going to let us. We're going to just leave.
The way is already open to you if you choose to leave now. However, if you leave now, you prove yourself unworthy, and the doorway to you will not be opened again.
Oh, it's like a catch-22.
To prove ourselves worthy, we have to see the evil.
Okay. Let's see. Not Rena. You think you can open these doors for us?
We just use the Quinn's like
The one is still open.
just
Flu, just look behind you.
Flu is like standing in front of him, full power pose, Superman style, just waiting for the doors to open out, and they don't.
I feel like you're standing with your back to the wide open door, looking at the other doors. So you're not going to open the doors then.
I just, we got to see this great, powerful evil that, of course, I am terrified of.
Makes me feel like a bad cheese.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think he'd turn around and he'd look at you guys like, hey, come on. And then he'd see the other door that you guys are both, like, walking towards. All right. Yeah. We'll, the side hatch. That's what I was talking about. And Flu catches up.
All right.
So you go to the 15-foot hallway, and do you have your detect magic on?
Yeah, I think he's going to do anything he can to see this thing as quickly as possible so that they can get the hell out.
Okay, so do you have the detect magic on as you walk down the hall? Or are you turning it on right when you get to the 15-footers?
I would say he probably turns it on in the room that they're standing in. And probably...
right.
Yeah,
that golden person is shining, giving off magic like crazy.
Which I think he's using that as sort of his tuning fork, being like, she's magic. Yep. Okay. Now let's find the other things that are.
Okay. First thing that catches your eye as you start to go back down the hall the way you came is in that room with the dead guy. His boots are magical. That single boot is magical, and you can also tell that there's something else magical on that guy.
And according to Not Rena, it's safe in there.
No. The secret
according
to
to
making
Not
it safe
Rena,
in there is in the center room.
The key to surviving that would be in the chamber, or they have to be
beneath.
I feel like this is a conversation that actually happened in game.
Yeah. So, wait! Don't go in there, Flu. No, you did not say it's safe.
Yeah, Flu is very confused when he has magic vision up.
He's like, man, those boots are glowing. I gotta get
whatever. He just saw 4 magic items, and there was like,
oh, here we go. This is where we're going.
Perfect.
That evil dead guy who's set on fire.
We might come back to that. I think our eyes though are more on finding out what this evil is.
Yeah, once he gets that, he kind of, it's before he ducks into the room, he keeps walking in. He goes and he jumps and looks down this kind of arms wide open, just looking down this hallway, anticipating just this terrible, nauseous feeling to overwhelm him.
All right, so what you see is, let's get rid of this now. Let's see. The hallway is too far for you to see with light or dark vision. However, as soon as you get down in there, you go about 10 feet in. To your right and to your left, you see rows and rows and rows of humanoids standing there in those rooms watching you.
And they're not like advancing on us or anything, right?
They are standing still. Upon closer inspection, they look to be corpses.
I think Flu's gonna kind of look to the left and look to the right, and as he's continuing to walk down this hallway.
And Quinn is not going to look left to right. He's just going to set his eyes directly forward, and he's going to walk directly forward.
Okay. After about 30 more feet, there's another open doorway on the right and the left. Looking inside, you see rows upon rows upon rows of these standing corpses that watch you with their heads as you walk by. And from past those doors, another 25 feet, you come to a wall that is hand-carved of stone of everything else, and it stops. As you walk further past it, Flu, the sickness begins to abate a little, but it remains strong as you are in the main portion of the hallway. But this hallway dead ends.
So Flu kind of turns around once everybody can kind of see, and he points at the little side rooms, and he looks at you too. And he kind of gives you a little salute, and he turns, and I think he's going to walk into the door that would be the first door on his right after he came to the end of the hallway and turned around. So the last door on the left.
Okay, do two things for me. Make a perception roll. If you're not okay with your 14, make a perception roll, and then make an investigation roll as well.
I think he would be actively looking, so I am going to roll even if it ends up lower.
Okay.
It did not. I believe that's 22. Yes. 22
with
perception.
Go
ahead.
Okay. With a quick look around the room, nearly 100 armored zombies stand at attention. Each is armed with scimitars of varying states of disrepair. In fact, looking at the initial, the ones closest to the doorway, their armor and scimitars look to be nearly used up. The further into the room you get, go ahead.
I was going to ask: does this look like a similar sight as to what we've seen with the oozes?
It's safe to assume that.
Okay.
Investigating the room, looking around them, you also see shoved over into the back corner from where you are standing at that first doorway. It's only about 25 feet into the corner, but you can barely make out that there is a pile of stuff just pushed over into that corner as if it was hastily put there. Looking at these skeletons, they are not armored nor armed with anything to mark them as old.
And these doors are just open doorways?
The doors are laying in the halls, and the hinges are gone.
And none of the skeletons have moved, even though I've come over to. Am I in the room?
You are. You're gonna have to be careful moving through the room if you don't want to mess with them. They are standing straight up at attention, about 100 filling up this room. Looking in the room totally, it's 60 feet long by 30 feet wide. So from the door in, it's 30 feet, and then from north south, it's 60 feet.
Is
and they have fit.
my detect magic making anything ping?
No, but you get this sickening feeling from the skeletons, some latent energy, not necessarily like you're not able to get necessarily a specific school. It's nasty.
I think what he would probably do is he would take his Dungeoneer's pack off. He would probably take his sword in sheath and kind of lay it down. And then I think he's going to very carefully crawl and squeeze his way to try and go get back to that pile that you said felt like it was hastily set aside. But it is very intriguing to him, whatever it might be.
All right, so you're gonna have to make an acrobatics check to get over into that corner.
Awesome. 22.
Oh, okay, great. So you are able to make it all the way over into that corner very, very carefully without bumping into anybody. And it looks like one of the things that's been pushed over to the side is a chest.
Have the locks been eaten off of it?
No, they haven't.
Is it a big chest?
It's a good size.
I think
it looks like it's probably about probably about 2 feet by a foot deep.
Fairly
more like a foot locker.
Flu would probably feel like it would be impossible to get it out. So I think he would kind of put his hands on the chest and turn around and look at the zombies. Are they all watching him?
Yes.
Just kind of looking at him sheepishly, he would say, "Boo."
They don't respond whatsoever. They just look at you.
And he almost faints because he scared himself. So it's a chest. Is it locked?
It doesn't seem so.
So I think he would slowly open the chest.
Okay. Inside the chest, you find 30 gold, 400 silver, 300 copper, and an amulet that, as you are trying to use your detect magic on it, you're like, nothing at all.
I think he would try and find a way to get an appropriate amount of money that he feels like he could safely get back out with. So if that's all of it, that's fine. But if it's not, he's going to take as much of the gold as he can.
Did you take your stuff off and crawl through?
So I still have a sack. So that would be the only thing that I would be able to fill.
Okay. So you feel as though you can probably fit a total of, of about 300 coinage.
Okay. That's absolutely what he would do, and he would tie the top of the bag with the amulet.
All right. You're going to have to make another acrobatics check to get out.
That's fine. I think he would, again, be very, very careful.
Okay. Make advantage.
All right. And let's see. Yeah, I'm going to
have 0 points.
I was going to say I'm going to use one here. Ooh. So plus acrobatics, 17. Not as good.
Okay. You are able to wiggle your way through without touching any of them, but you are, right as you're about to come out, are extremely close to one of them. And as you almost rub up against one of them on your way out, you watch as it reaches for its scimitar and begins to move. And as you get further away from it, it goes back to standing at attention.
And I think he would kind of come out and he would put the sack down in front of him, put his backpack on, resheath his, put his sword back in, and come over. And he'd say, yeah, I don't know if Night Rena can be bought, but hopefully this will help.
Okay. So you've done that. Quinn, during this time, you said that the corridor just basically leads all the way down. There's all of these corridors leading off, all these doors leading off, with all of these figures looking at us that are all undead, and that it's a dead end at the end, right?
Yep.
So I think the very first thing that Quinn would do would be to see if there's anything, if this wall is a wall at the end, to make sure that it is the end. And that would be the first thing that he does.
Okay. Make sure, do an investigation check for me.
15.
All right. So looking at this wall, trying to make sure that it's a wall is what it is, you do find a very, very faint, well-hidden crease down the center of this wall, almost as if they were made to resemble a dead end. However, you do believe that this wall can open up as a huge doorway.
All right. I would say
with the 200 zombies behind you, you're starting to put some pieces together.
Sure. I would say, I think this does. I would show them where the crease is to these other guys, especially to since Flu's during this time in the room, he would overhear me talking about it. But I would definitely show this to Den, as he's the one that's right next to me. And I would run my hands up and down the crease and see if there's something that I can, shift with it or whatever. See if I can push it, all that sort of stuff to see if I can get it open.
I'll go ahead and save you. It does not seem that it seems that no matter what you're trying, you are not able to open this door.
Mm-hmm.
Make these wall panels to move.
I think Den might say something along the lines of, Quinn, I think this chamber is a bow, and these undead are the arrows. It feels like something waiting to burst out into our world here. But also, I think that Den is, while the instinct might be to be disgusted or repelled by this like evil, I think Den is looking around like wide-eyed and like almost inspired by all these undead.
Make a perception roll for me.
Yep. 12.
12. You see something very odd, very strange. It looks as though into the room there is one that you can see that seems to be standing on a. It looks to be a rolled piece of paper that has been crushed under one of their feet.
Yeah, I think Den, fascinated by all these things, probably catches it and like tentatively like kneels down to grab at the paper.
All right. So this is going to.
Is Flu aware of this?
Yeah. So like y'all are not hiding your actions from each other. So you see what you're doing, what each other's doing.
I think Flu would. Dan, hold on just a second. And a spectral hand would fly out of his pocket with cheese in it, and it would feed Flu a bite of the cheese, and
Just
Flu
like eating popcorn. I gotta see this. Hold on, let me get comfortable.
Oh, this is good. What's going to happen next? No, the hand drops the cheese into Flu's hand, and he keeps eating the cheese, but the spectral hand floats over your direction. And Flu says, "You might want to back up." And if Den is cool with it, I'm going to try and pull the paper out with the mage hand.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You can try, but it is too heavy for the mage hand. The weight of the zombie is too heavy for the mage hand.
Does the zombie react in any way?
Does not.
I use the mage hand. Well, no, that's probably a terrible idea. So yeah, he would look and he'd give you the shoulders.
I think so. I think that Den pulls out his marionette and he's like puts it up near the zombie's face and reaches down with his other hand to grab the paper. Like, okay, almost.
The zombie watches you, not the marionette.
I mean, I think Den's still going for it. We've come this far into this chamber and they haven't done anything. I don't plan on touching the zombie to make this happen, but yank the paper like a tablecloth off of a table kind of thing. It's like a quick motion. Pull it out.
Right. Make a let's see, dexterity check. No proficiency, but I'll let you do it at advantage because I like the idea of this.
Oh God. Oh God. That was a 7. Wait, let me roll a d6 hero point. That makes it an 11.
All right. It swings down and hits you for. Whew! How much life you got?
Oh God!
Again.
12.
Yeah, it hits you for 10.
Great, love it. Back down to where I was before that potion. Does it hit me while after I have pulled the paper out, or before I can get the paper out?
It hits you after you get the paper out, but you don't leave all of the items on the table undisturbed.
Right. It's not like continuing its pursuit of me or anything, is it?
It is not. It is, however, watching you with its weapon still drawn.
All right. I think I'd probably scramble away and look at the paper.
Okay.
Kind of like
the paper,
dodging back and forth between the zombie and the paper.
And I would, when he draws back, I would step in between him and the zombie just in case it did come after him.
Okay. You can tell that it is some sort of spell scroll, but you are going to have to take some time and look at it before you can accurately define what kind of spell it will be.
Cool.
All right. Well, while he's doing that and identifying it, taking time, I think so. Quinn's really restless, so I'll just communicate with you about what I'm feeling, and you can sort of guide me as to what might be, the resulting thing. So, so Quinn has this in his head, right? He has this thing in his head that says, go down the south and see the evil. And if you do not see the evil, then you are not worthy. And so Quinn, at this point, feels like he hasn't seen the evil. Whether that's true or not, that's how he feels. He's looking at these zombies and he's going, that's not enough for me, right? He's like, I need to see this big bad before I'm worthy. I need to be worthy. I need to prove myself, right? So he's like, I need to either open this thing or I need to go, figure this out. So he's trying to find a way to get through this wall because he believes that there's something else that's behind this wall that must be this evil. So I don't know what he's going to do to try that, but I mean, he would even go all the way back to that guardian and go, I don't know how to get through the wall. I want to see it. Is this a test or something? And then come all the way back and go, yes, it's a test or whatever. He's bent on getting through there.
Okay, you go back to the golden one then, and you are. I do not see the evil, and the golden one looks at you and says, "You are not Denise."
So how do
scrutinizing you?
How do you expect us to see the evil, knowing that we're not Denise, but you've instructed us to see the evil? But you're saying that because we're not Denise, we can't. So how is this possible?
No.
What can I do? Is there an item here that I can take to show the Denise blood or Denise, symbology down at the end of this corridor?
The Denise symbols do not open that door.
So how do you expect me to see the evil?
Have you gone? If you have gone, you have seen. The Denise symbols do not open that door.
There are zombies. Lots and lots and lots of zombies.
Yes. There are. And I can promise you that those were not put here with Rena de Denise, for I was here the day that she was interred.
So what you're asking us to do, or what in the end goal here, is to purify this burial chamber, or not burial chamber, this shrine of all of these undead. That's the evil?
Said, you and your friends and their friends could not do that now. But know that from here, this is but one.
This is but one. Are there more tombs like this or shrines like this that are similarly vilified?
You will have to find that. You will have to see.
You've been here from the start, from when this happened, from when the shrine was erected?
I have.
Do you know what brought this evil down here?
I do not. Strong magics protected it.
Okay.
As if they are storing them.
Okay. The last thing that Quinn wants to speak to this thing about is to say, Our understanding is that this place was not known by anyone. You've said that there was both a very recent visitor and visitors many years ago that were a part of like they were an army, basically. So obviously it is known, but perhaps not by good people.
That is a safe assumption.
Okay. Okay. So, have I seen the evil? He will ask.
If you have seen the army, you have.
Am I worthy?
If you believe you are worthy, you are worthy.
Okay. Go back to the others. And being that we're like close to finishing time, what are the others doing as I've been gone for a little bit?
I think Dan would probably have kind of roamed back and is probably not going back inside to that central chamber, but is like right there when you come out.
Okay.
And just like is ready to get out of here.
You can see that that Quinn's a little frustrated, and he's like, "Well, apparently we've seen the evil."
Flu kind of ducks his head and walks back in. So I found some things further on around the army. Do those things belong to you, or is it something that we might be able to have?
As long as you do not disturb Rena de Denith's body, she will not mind.
Is Rena de Denith here somewhere? I understand
Yeah.
she's not buried, but she's here somewhere.
Not here. And the creature continues to gesture toward the sarcophagus, which she's standing behind. She is not here.
Okay.
Somebody needs to ask her what is here.
Well, yeah, we did.
It's a memorial shrine.
It's a memorial shrine,
It's a big
yes.
loop we keep going in.
It's a memorial shrine.
Can I touch it?
How would we know? How would we know upon just seeing where her body rests, so we know not to disturb it?
It will be obvious. Her name will be on it.
And do you know of a rod?
I do.
With a Denith rod. Is that with her?
It is in the place that she is buried.
Which is not here.
Which is not
And
here.
which we should not disturb, correct? Right.
You should not disturb her body. No.
He's being awfully vague.
Well, I honestly, I'm gonna guess that not Rena. You may have some more visitors in the future because we're going to make sure that all of this gets back to the family in some way, shape, or form. But other than that, I believe it's time for us to go.
And we will do what we can to pave the way to the future where it might be possible to rid this place and other similar places of the evil that we have seen.
I would like to see you progress. This interests me.
It'll take some time. But you've been here for centuries, so...
I have time.
Very well.
So when she said that if we believe we are worthy, does that mean to escape this chamber?
Well, it said that it had opened the way. So all we need to do is find an open door? Or maybe go back to the stairs?
The stairs back?
Maybe the stairs are back? Yeah.
If you go back to the stairs are down.
Okay.
Do we want to try and get those boots, those magic boots?
Not particularly. Without.
I feel alive still and comfortable walking away alive still.
I think we could come back at another time. I think that we're pretty much exhausted what we can do here right now. I think we have a long-term quest.
I think he's sitting there. Flu's got his bag in front of him, and he's putting the coins with the necklace wrapped around into his bag. But instead of putting his bag on, he takes his sword, puts it down on the side, and walks over to that door and starts rubbing his hands together. And he beats his chest a couple of times to make sure he's feeling good with his fiendish vigor. And I think he takes a step in, and he takes a second step in, knowing how this works. I think if the dragon ever looks down at him, he's popping out of the room. So,
yeah, as soon as you step a couple more steps in the room, the dragon looks down at you, and you hear the sounds of running hooves, and you're having to pop out.
do I see the ram or goat pass in front of me?
That doesn't pass in front of you. It'll go right at you.
But I stepped out of the room.
Oh, you'll have to make a dex save.
Okay,
then.
That's fine. That's fine. Dex save.
Oh.
Oh god.
I was prepared for this. Like I was.
It was great because we were going to all survive.
I said I was. That's why I was walking slowly in.
Yeah, I just want to die before I leave.
Hey, use that hero point.
It'll be fine. I just want to die before I leave.
You got hero points left?
Yeah, I think I have one left.
Oh
I've rolled pretty well. I rolled really well, though. I feel like all right. I'll use my last one.
Oh my god.
So that does help. That puts it up to a 21. Do I get bashed into this lion?
Probably taking half damage.
But
I was worthy.
We've been through this.
So now you have this problem. All right, you are knocked prone against the wall.
Okay.
Like you are now no longer there. You are hit and knocked prone against the wall.
Okay.
You take, since you made your save, you take half damage of 5, and then half of 14.
All right, so 12.
And that's so it's two separate sources. The first 5 is slashing, and the 14 is fire.
Okay, so I take half of both, or I take.
You can take half of each one.
Okay, so I'll take 2, and then I'll take 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 9, okay.
And it has knocked you over beside that dead guy.
Okay, I would like to get up and run out of the room.
You're not going to pick the stuff up because you're right there?
I mean, so
you may
yeah,
as well.
I guess if nothing
So-
else, I think what he'll do is he'll grab the one boot.
Okay, so as soon as you start to move, that dragon head looks back over at you.
Okay. I mean, I
So
gotta get out of
okay,
here.
so we got a situation. So guys,
Hey, maybe we
let's see.
should
So
throw
he's-
an animal in there from the bag.
So let's see. So while he's gone and done this, you guys haven't said anything about this. So I'm going to assume you're still in the room. You watch the golden lady look off in the direction of that room, and she goes, "He is not beneath."
So, okay. What? So, you've
stupid.
okay. You've that's fine. So Den's like, use the bag, and I'm gonna toss the bag at Den, expecting him to go and use the bag. And I'm gonna say to this golden figure, I'm gonna say, you said that we either need to be beneath or the answer is in this room. Where in this room would the answer be?
Bust over that sarcophagus.
No.
She is literally gesturing around the room and then stops and says, "That is for you to figure out.
All right. Well,
The options are for you."
while Den goes and hopefully uses the bag, I'm looking around the room and seeing what there is there.
Okay.
I mean, I
As
know
I said,
you've
in the
said
room,
lots,
you see
but
wooden carvings.
wooden carvings.
You see wooden carvings of both of House Deneath.
Yeah.
Their both their crest, coat of arms, and their dragon mark. You see just carved through all of the walls dragon marks of House Deneath, of the mark of the Sentinel, and you see banners of House Deneath with the crest on them hanging from the walls on the sides.
Yeah. Is it okay if I take one of those banners? I say, as long as I don't disturb the rare resting place of.
She nods.
Okay, I will. So
Be
I
my
would
guest.
take. I would take a banner, and I would. These carvings can they be picked up? Is there like a reliquary or something with one in it, or
the carvings are about the size of your chest.
right? And they're into the wall, so you can't just like take them, right?
Correct.
All right. So I'll take a banner. That's all I can. There's nothing else that I can physically remove.
Okay.
And I would, also, go back to that room. Is Den throwing throwing a fairy
Den,
ball
what are you
into
doing?
the room?
Are you waiting or are you
It's
throwing?
got to be the guy in the tiger
You're
suit.
muted as well, Den. Mike.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. A jackal appears from what I've thrown into the room.
Jackal appears. You throw it into the room. As soon as it lands in the room, the dragon head looks at it away from Flu. You watch as the goat runs from right out of the wall of the spectral coat, hits it, rams it into another position in the room. Claws come out, shred it, and fire blows on it. And it is
Toast.
yeah. To give an idea of the damage on this, that's 18, 20, 30 points of damage.
Yikes.
Good thing you ran in there.
So while all of that was happening, I got out of the room, right? I didn't want to interrupt you while you were telling your story. I obviously would have scampered and grabbed the boot on the way out.
Obviously,
That's what I would have done.
that's what you would have attempted.
Well, yeah. As soon as the dragon head looked the other way. Were there multiple goats?
Yeah, I think if Quinn's
Okay.
not there yet,
Do you
Den
wanna find
immediately throws the next thing into the room. It's a giant hyena this time.
27 points of damage.
Oh, this thing should still be alive then.
Another goat.
I hit the giant hyena.
So I made it out, right?
Nope.
Why not?
Because you haven't moved.
What every time this is going on? Come on now.
Oh, well then go ahead and make another save then.
Why would I need to make another save? That thing's not even
Quinn
alive.
needs to
Don't
just get
move.
over there with the banner.
Okay, so Quinn shows up. What are you doing with the banner? Let us know.
I'm playing Chinese Dragon.
Nice. Holding it over your head. And
You're
walking
under
through.
it, and
Yes.
cool. The dragon, as you step into the room, the dragon's head pops towards you, sees the crest, and just ignores you.
I
And
will
goes back to a resting position.
I will dragon over to my friend and put the banner over him too and get the hell out of here. Move, idiot!
I think you would
Do you
see
want
him once you
all
got
those
over there.
boots and stuff now?
I was going to say, once you covered him, you would see Flu kind of roll over on his side and start untying the boots from the guy's foot just as
Yeah,
fast as he can, just pulling them off. And let's see. I guess he would probably hold the other one. Go ahead.
Having a chance, okay, you'll be able to get those off. You end up getting 2 magic boots for a medium-sized creature, 1 magic boot for a small-sized creature, and I told you there was one other magic thing on him, and it turns out that is a brooch.
Brooch.
Pinned to his front. While he's doing that, however, Quinn, make an investigation check at advantage for me while you're over here dragoning.
All right.
Now that you have time to stop and can look around safely.
Okay. With advantage. Oh man.
You've been good at these. 16. Sure you don't want to spend that hero point?
Yes, I do.
Wait, I have these. Use them. Yes, please.
20.
That far southwest corner of this room, just past where the dead body is, you recognize a similar cutting along the floor, where the floor and the wall connect, similar to where those, where that wall where you thought the evil was passed.
Okay. I say so. While we're under this thing, we may as well go and have a look, right?
And Flu is like got his arms full of this stuff.
Full
like,
of stuff.
Really?
Yeah. And Den's standing in the doorway like, guys.
Yeah, just holding the bag upside down. Like, we got nothing.
We're all
One
out
more
of
thing I
moves.
can throw.
Quinn's like, no, not really. Let's get out. So we're just leaving.
Yeah, I think very carefully I would follow. But I would recommend that we use this path to get back out because it seems faster.
Yes, there is a door on the northwest corner of this.
Yeah, that's the
Well,
way
that's
out.
nice.
What flavor ooze monster's in there?
There's Kool-Aid monsters, remember?
Oh yeah.
We're leaving and finishing the
Through the
session because we're 20 minutes.
I melt stone this whole time.
That's true. That's true. All right, we'll go back to the stairway and get the hell out of there.
All right.
The dinosaur has
That's
prepared
probably-
a meal.
It was probably the coolest room.
It probably was.
Jim was like,
It
"Oh,
was
I
the
forgot to
treasure
tell you
room.
another room over there. It had plus
All right.
5 weapons in it." Ugh.
Yeah.
It's the
We
the
can
room
come
of
back.
invite.
You think you can come back. You only think you can.
We've been welcomed and we've been considered worthy.
Hey, let's be real, Quinn. If you come back, I'm not coming with you. I had a really bad time here.
Yeah, this was a terrible first date.
This was not fun.
All right.
This is a terrible first date. So, yes, you guys are able to get out. When you get there, you see that the steps have been lowered, and you are able to make it back, and oddly enough, as you are walking back to Volyar into the line, Zilch and his two brothers catch back up with you very quickly and offer to give you a ride back.
These assholes were just waiting for us.
It does strike you as odd. You are correct. It does strike you as odd that they go so quickly.
Maybe they just wanted our protection.
Yeah. The dead guys.
I hope. Yeah, we come
So,
with like crutches made out of zombie bones.
That is the end of this session, and I will give you XP off camera. Mark all that stuff down for us, and yeah, we'll be good to go and know what's happening in our next game in 2 weeks. So, guys, good job, and yeah, see you soon.
Awesome, thanks.